Much for watching. I probably should have worn something dark and gothic if we were doing haunted tours in the middle of the day, but you'll have to forgive me. I'm just getting everything organized so that we can go off without a hitch here. If you don't know me, my name is Amy. I'm a programmer and the founder of bandbooks.art, and it's a project where I create a metaverse every month and I showcase artists in my galleries. And I have a Halloween special that I did with the rugs, or the rug NFT, and Elo made this website for it. So he'll fix these eventually. But yeah, so we'll get this done. But this is his first website he's ever made, so that's super exciting. And yeah, so what's happening with these collections? I should probably say this when we're in the space, but there are two collections going on here. I should do a better job with screen grabbing. Sorry to make you just watch me tweet, but it says it's going to start at 4:04, not found, so we're going to start it at 4:04. I actually wanted to go onto YouTube really quick, and this is going to suck for a moment. Sorry about that. Okay, just wanted to tweet this out too. So we can get rid of Twitter on here, and then we can continue on with our lives. I want to do the walkthroughs, the metaverse walkthroughs with you. So I did say it's 4:04, but it's 4:03, and I'm kind of ready to start, honestly. I don't think anyone is going to... Oh, it's 4:04 literally. Okay. Skipping that, it's gonna rug me right away. Just throwing that out there. But I just did a bunch of things. Honestly, I've been doing things all day. Like, I went downstairs and I got my mail, or my packages. I cleaned my house a little bit, or not really cleaned up, but also, did I start the lounge in Discord and not share my screen? Because that's not really the point of this. Okay. So, I'm sharing my screen, and that should be fine. And now we wait. But I created both of these collections. Oh, hey. Hi, Steven. I just started this space, so I'm going to wait for a few people to come in. Thank you so much for coming. I really do appreciate that. We are multicasting right now, so we're on YouTube and Twitch and live in Discord. If you want to see my screen, I'm going to go through a few of the metaverses. Depends on who comes and how interested people are in seeing this. And we might get off topic, we might not. Oh, he left. It's fine. So just because we're the only people in the room, I'm talking to myself probably. This project started. Actually, I'm gonna turn my mic off. I'm just gonna talk to myself because why not? If I'm resetting the room and I'm doing everything else, may as well. So for those that don't know me, my name is Amy. I'm a programmer. I am the founder of bandbooks.art, and I'm doing a Halloween special with the rugs. And this all came about because for August, I did a book called Light in August, and one of the themes was that didn't age well. And so in September, I said something along the lines of, I wanted to do well, let me show you what it wound up being, right? So we did Light in August, and you can see that we, there's this really cool building. It's cool. This is Cindy Zwiebel's piece with the eyes here. And then you come here and it's supposed to be like a psychedelic cemetery situation. We have these fallen statues here, but what I wanted was a miniature cemetery of rugged art. And so I said something about that in a space, and 2 people said, oh, hey, that's hilarious. You should go forward with that. And I was like, fine, I can make the metaverse. However, you have to do all the promotion for this. So that was the deal. And so the rugs was formed, and Elo, MetaChaser, wound up creating, I don't know what I did with that tab, but this is his first on his own website, webpage that he's ever published. So I'm really proud of him, and he worked really hard on this, and we will get the images and the links working here pretty soon. But it's actually kind of a feat to get any of this together. So, and it was not a lot of time that we had to do this. So I'm really happy that we were able to get this Banned Books collaboration with the rugs published, really. And so I made 2 collections, just different aesthetics. And this one is a polygon collection. And the deal with Banned Books art is each theme has a different charity that's associated with it. So this one is Dogs for Better Lives. So after we pay for the rugged art, 100% of the profits from this will be going to Dogs for Better Lives. And I actually put it in the royalties that 25% of the royalties will be going to Dogs for Better Lives. So how do we get to this metaverse? Because if you go to bandbooks.art, in the dashboard, it's not here anywhere yet because it's a Halloween special, so I want it to be special to the rugs. And also token gated a little bit. So if you go here and we view on this, this is how we get into the metaverse, the mini-verse. And, oh, hey, Pixie's here. Hey, Pixie, how are you?
Hello, my friend. It sounds like you are giving us a guided tour of the haunted metaverse. What's going on? How's it going?
Yay, I have not really been advertising this, so I figured since I was the only person in the room, I may as well give all of the backstory about how this project came to be and what we're going to be doing. And if you go onto YouTube or Twitch or my Discord, I'm always very accommodating with these things, but I'm actually going through all of the AI art I produced for this is actually in the cemetery. So it's just like a miniature cemetery that I think it would have been more interesting to walk through the cemetery if it was rugged art, because then we could talk about different projects and how they came to be. But, you make metaverse galleries with the art that you have.
I love it. I love what you're doing. So I'm just sorting Magic the Gathering cards. So I'm probably just going to be on mute listening to you.
That is 100% fair. When I lived in China, sometimes my students would ask me, do you know Magic? And I would always get so excited thinking that, oh my gosh, these people know Magic the Gathering. I do not play it, but I know people that do. And I just really wanted to find Chinese Magic the Gathering cards just in case I ever came across. And hold on a moment, because I think I have something that I can... Hold on. Look, hold on. So this is me getting up and actually getting a prop to show people on the camera, but I never did actually find any Magic the Gathering cards. But I don't know if any of you remember Munchkin, the card game. But I have...
Yes, I remember Munchkin.
Yeah, so I was in... I think it was like... Yeah, I mean, it's literally on the back here, but a Chinese Toys R Us. And I found a Chinese version of Munchkin. So I have a Chinese set that I was going to give my friend because she loved the game, and I never saw her again, but I still have the box. It's on display in my house. So this is what happens. I buy thoughtful gifts for friends and then I never see them again.
I love it. I buy people gifts all of the time. That's my love language, is buying them something weird, obscure that I found at like a thrift store or the flea market. Yeah.
My cat just looked at me she's like, what are you doing? What is Munchkin? Is it dangerous? No, they were totally freaking out today because I actually stood up in my kitchen. I was like, it's time to clean. And they were like, what are you doing? Are you playing with us? And I was like, no, I'm cleaning. And they're like, so you have time to play with us? And I was like, no, cleaning. And they're like, it's fine. We're used to it. Just play with us. And I'm like, no, seriously, it's bothering me and I never get in the mood. So you should probably stop trying to play with me. And then they lost their minds. And then we played.
I love them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. My kid is so obnoxious. When I try to clean, she'll be, jumping in my pile of, whatever, dust that I've swept up. She's, jumping around, and I'm like, what are you doing? This is terrible. Don't jump around. And then she's, jumping on me. and then like taking another broom and thinking that she's helping with cleaning and sweeping the pile that I made, you know, like I'm about to sweep up, she's sweeping it all over. What are you doing? She's like, I'm helping you clean, Mommy. And I'm like, no, you're not. But yeah, you guys heard her last time when she came into she unmiked. I didn't know what she had done. She was trying to take my phone, and she likes to play with the video filters on Instagram, like the reel filters, and so she was trying to open up Instagram and do that, but then she ended up unmiking on your Twitter space and talking, and I don't even know what she said, but yeah, and then I tried to figure out, like, because then she opened up like the vocal thing on Twitter Spaces, and I couldn't figure out how to get out of it. I'm like, what did you do here? But you know, I don't have like an Oculus, so I don't think metaverse stuff that you have. I don't know, like, do you just post like shots or something so we can see what you could see if you had an Oculus?
I definitely don't own an Oculus. That might be something someday that I'm like, hey, the company should expense this. That way I can actually confirm. Because I'm pretty sure that you can use mine in like the Oculus browser. Like, I looked it up, and there's nothing stopping this from being that. But I get extreme 3D sickness. Like, you know, when you go to the movies and you get those glasses, I get an instant migraine. Like, it's no joke. So I just use a keyboard and mouse, and it's just like a VR experience. But
so you can have a VR experience like in your computer?
Yes, I usually use my computer, but most of my I don't think I activated it for this Miniverse, but for my main galleries, if you're on your mobile phone and you look to the floor, there's arrows, and you can go forward, backwards, left, and right. And then for the Grimm's Fairy Tales, you can go up and down. You can fly. So
I love it. And so with this one, with the cemetery, how big is your metaverse for that?
Oh, it's very small. I told them that it's not a surprise. It was specifically meant to just be a simple cemetery because it was, well, the theme changed because, okay, I'm gonna speak in a complete sentence, maybe someday. The original thought was, we're going to get people to donate rugged art to our wallet, and then I'm going to display that rugged art, and we're going to transform that art into tombstones and then sell like the tombstones as NFTs to raise money for charity. So then it would be like 80% of it going to charity. But nobody actually donated the rugged art to the wallet. So I was like, well, now I have all this AI art I've made, but we don't have any rugged art, which was supposed to be in the cemetery, and I made a cemetery. So I switched out. There was like a hag tree, like a woman in a tree, like overlooking the entire cemetery. Switched that out for a low poly dog, and we're just having a cemetery full of Victorian women with dogs next to them. And so we're going to use the money from whatever NFTs we sell to buy rugged art, and then 100% of the profits after we have enough to fill the cemetery for next year for us to do this project will be going to Dogs for Better Lives. And then I've set up the royalties so that 25% of the royalties will be going to Dogs for Better Lives, just to the communal charity wallet I've set up for Banned Books Art. So in case anybody was wondering, that's why this. I made the perimeters from scratch. I made the AI art that's for this. And it's just, it took me a couple hours to do. And I was like, well, it exists. So we are now going to show it off and, make a go for this. And then we'll see how the Rugged project goes. Like, really, it's called the Rugs NFT. And I'm just, it started because I thought it would be funny, and I have infinite time for things that are amusing to me. Just a personality trait, I guess.
Same. I'll do anything for the things that I love. Like, I am currently, I bought my collection of magic, this new edition, sight unseen. So yeah, you go with your projects, Amy, and I'm just gonna sit here and support you.
Yes, and we can also go through my other metaverses while I'm here. Pixie is in a few of them. I remember the Light in August one, which is the one that actually sparked this metaverse as the idea, because one of the themes was that didn't age well. And so I wanted to do rugged art in that one, but I didn't know how to approach people, because it can be kind of a sensitive topic, like, oh, you got rugged. What are you going to do with that art now? Like, is it a bad taste in your mouth? Are you saying, like, oh, well, I'm out thousands of dollars, but at least I have this art? Like,
right. That I think because you're very sweet, and you're very, I don't want to use the word demure, but it almost feels like, you're very kind and understanding. So I think that space would go off really well with you.
Yeah, and like, there's so many things that happen with this project that make it already successful without even selling anything. For example, Elo made this website, and it was therugs.xyz, and it is his first website that he has ever made without it being like a tutorial. So it's like his first real world project. So I am working with him to, make it not broken. And we're going to expand it to be a DApp and get him a portfolio that he needs in order to get a job in Web3. So, like, this has other things that are going for it that are not, like, I'm not very hyper about, like, you need to buy this art, this AI art that I have. Like, it's never been central to any of my projects of, like, yeah, I'll have art because NFT artists are expecting me to have art for sale. But
that's me. I just want to create stuff and just hang out with you in your metaverses and your spaces. I make a lot of art. I just don't post it.
Yeah, I know. So, Robert, how are you? Thank you for coming.
I'm doing good. I'm just chilling. I only have a little bit of time here. So I have a question. How does... whenever people submit to your form, how does that work when they buy the art in your gallery, or it goes to OpenSea? How does that work? I'm just wondering.
Okay, so I understand your question, and I'm actually because I'm multi-streaming, I'm going to go to, like, the Grimm's Fairy Tales, for example. So, like, when you go into here, there's like a placard against like every piece of art, and you can see the artist's name and you can see the art piece's name, and there's a big red button, which I've been informed, I didn't know that it actually was universal, that meant that the piece is sold. So I'm going to change the color of the button next month so that nothing says that it's sold until I've been told that it's been sold. but you just click on the button in the gallery and it will go directly to wherever your piece is being sold. And if someone buys it, it is 100% your profit. However, if you use Foundation, they have an affiliate program, so I will use the share link and I'll get 1% of the profits if they click through. It's fair and it's a program they have.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So which one is better, OpenSea or Foundation? Because I just opened an OpenSea because I thought it was easier.
So, it depends on your art. It depends on your goals. It depends on how much you're producing. I used Foundation for my personal project my personal Genesis collection, because I'm doing an NFT drip method where I posted 4 NFTs and when one sells, I replace it with a new NFT. And since in Foundation, they're minted, in OpenSea, they're lazy minted, so it cost me like $4 to make it into a mint and then list it for sale, like total. So like if you're spending, let's say like $10, well, like when prices start, it just depends on like, if I had a 10,000 piece collection, I probably wouldn't use Foundation because that's expensive and you don't know how quickly things are going to move. But it is, because it's minted and you had to pay for it, I think it's more like maybe viewed as more prestigious than OpenSea. But OpenSea is fine. I have my Bandbooks art collabs. It's not really the collection, but account. And I also have a Bandbooks art account on OpenSea that they're different. And I've also done, I've minted my own collection on my own contract that is on Bandbooks art. Last month for Grimm's Fairy Tales, I went a little, just did an experiment and just did everything. So I don't think there's a perfect answer because it's like, it depends on like the crowd you're trying to get, what blockchain you're trying to target. You can even, like Nico from Caden, like the Caden account, he's on 10 different blockchains. Some people are on like 7 different blockchains. Like the more blockchains you're on, the more customers you have because currency is currency. So, like I started Pixie on OpenSea because like it's lazy minting, so she didn't have to have any ETH.
And plus I don't have to spend anything and I can just put up the art when I like it. So I don't have, it's kind of one of those things that it's there and I don't have to think about it. I like that. I like the lazy minting. If you want it, get it. If you don't want it, whatever.
Yeah, and OpenSea used to have an account activation that was $200, and then after that, everything was free. And so they dropped that, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. That's good to know. I'm barely new. Like I've been a year, but I didn't use it a lot, so I'm barely getting to Twitter Spaces. So I'm learning everything about Foundation and OpenSea and all the other ones. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I wanted an NFT marketplace that would do lazy minting, but with split contracts. And Foundation does split contracts really easily. OpenSea does not, and it makes me a little angry. But they do have lazy minting, which is good. Which is, yeah, it's just because nothing I do is ever simple. Like, because with Bandbooks collabs, I'm collaborating with other artists. That's the entire account. So I want to just set up the wallet so that on the primary sale, it also goes to the correct wallets and it's not up to like me because that's not the point of a smart contract. The point of a smart contract is the money hits the contract, the wallet sorts it out on its own, and it's trustless. But that's not that's not how OpenSea works. So it's like you have to trust me to give you your portion at the end. And but the royalties work out the way they're supposed to, in my opinion. Like you give the overall percentage of royalty, and then you give like the sub amount, and it can't exceed more than 10%. And I'm like, okay, well, it's always 10%. Like, you know, but yeah, it's just one of those things where everything is more complicated than you think it would have been. But we'll get through it. Also, it's true that OpenSea has the most traffic, and people use marketplaces because people that are just browsing OpenSea, if they like your art, they'll just kind of buy it, and you didn't have to spend hundreds of dollars on advertisement, so it's worth it to be on there. And I feel like it's a good, like, training wheels. Like, you didn't have to spend money on it, so you can make some mistakes. And then once you get to know, like, who your audience is, you can move to different platforms.
How many people do you have under the collab already?
So, how many collections do I have on here? I have I have 5 collections. 2 of them are with Brett Jolliffe. 1 is for Sabette, and then 2 of them are for this Halloween project with the rugs. So the one on my website is another type of collaboration, and that's the charity NFT collection, where the artist actually donated the NFTs to Banned Books Art, and then 80% of the proceeds are going to charity. And I think it was 4 different artists, not including myself, donated a total of 21 pieces. So 1 has sold. And so as soon as we get to like 4 or 5, I will just, because it goes to a smart contract I made myself that disperses the money to the correct wallets. So as soon as there's enough money in there for it to make sense for me to execute the wallet, we will get that done, and then the donation will happen. Hopefully that answered your question. I'm sorry it got really complicated. If you go to, well, it's not my pin tweet anymore. It's in the thread of the pin tweet. But like, if you haven't minted it yet and you want to include me as a collaborator on your NFT, so like if it sells, I get, like, the project gets a percentage. That contract is there, and you can add it, and it's not required. It's just that it does cost money to make these charity collections, and it's complicated. And I did the first time.
That's what I was going to ask,
yeah.
Amy. Are you going to do a premium gallery where you, let's say an artist wants to pay you to create basically a space in a premium gallery for you to host their art, like Sotheby's or something. And let's say I wanted like premium space. Are you going to be having that? Sorry, it's a weird question.
I was hoping, and maybe at some point this will happen, that I could get project sponsorships where, like how at Disney World or other theme parks, they're like, this roller coaster is brought to you by Coca-Cola. I was hoping it would be like that, where it's just like, this crazy ass section that has this going on is sponsored by the degens, and I'll be like, every time I'm in there, I'll say that project and tell them how they can participate in that project, or maybe get like affiliate links going. I'm starting to do affiliate links with Motivate You and my technically second job that I haven't worked at for like 6 months now, which is an entirely other story. But they gave me an affiliate link, and I'm going to start talking about them, or at least we're going to set it after it's set up. I will start talking about them again. Just start getting sponsorships like that. In the new year, I am slowing it down. Instead of 12 metaverses a year, we'll be doing 4, and custom made ones. And I'll be making a training program so that people can make their own metaverses and then start doing consulting if someone is stuck on their own. And so I don't think it'll be like a premium section. I'm hoping people will sponsor.
But I like that idea. I like the sponsored idea, and then I like the idea that you're willing to train people how to do metaverses. But it's got, I think it's amazing, because if you were looking to, I should look those up. If you were looking to really hone in on that, you're a builder of worlds instead of just an NFT artist. And I think that is so valuable of what you're doing and what you're going to accomplish. And right now, I know that you're just beginning in all of this, because you've only built 5 metaverses, but that's amazing on its front. And then to be able to teach people how to do metaverses, girl, you're going to be so nothing but the stars for you. That's what I see.
Yeah, how long does it take you to make one?
It depends on how complicated I make the metaverse, but it does usually take me about 3 weeks to make the metaverse and then also put the images in properly. So yeah, I have started to create the metaverse for this month, and I will finish it this weekend. And then I will export the environment into, my, the web environment, and then I will start placing the images, and it just depends on, how crazy I am, and, because I've never been trained in, architecture or 3D modeling, so it's, it just depends on, did it work out the way my mind's eye thought it was going to, or do I need to rework something? Is it too many polygons? Do I need to simplify what I'm doing? These are all questions that we have that I have to work through, but I've been having a lot of fun. It's been a very a creative outlet for me. So it is a lot of work on my part, not gonna lie.
Have you ever thought about making your tickets NFTs and selling them maybe for a premium person gets a free NFT if they sign up for a year or something?
So, here's how this works. Okay, I can explain. So we already are doing POAPs, which are proof of attendance protocols, which are free for me to mint and hand out to people. And I became a partner with a company called VoxelX, and they were supposed to launch their NFT marketplace in July of this year, and that was convenient because I was doing the Alice in Wonderland. And that was the first time I had done the AA Artathon. So I was like, okay, so we have these things that the community have created. We'll turn them into NFTs, and the people that have bought the more expensive tickets will be whitelisted, and they'll be able to get a free NFT, the first dibs of what they want. And at least that was the intention. I didn't ever like write that down or commit myself to that. Like I didn't say that because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And Supercluster, their NFT marketplace, to this date, it's not published yet. So someday, I keep telling people in January we will start doing this, and I'll start emailing people from past galleries and say like, hey, like this is available. These are from this theme. You can pick one. And then what I'm doing, instead of making it, well, it'll probably be something like that where it's like, if you have paid the more expensive ones, here's like the top resolution, or like animated or whatever it happens to be. And each tier will have however many you can have for free. And then the way I'm doing it is it's going to be in a cycle of 3 months. The first month is going to be the AI art gallery. That's just like a maze that is super easy for me to put together. And then I can focus on, getting artists onboarded onto my metaverse and getting the metaverse ready. And the metaverse is in the middle month. And then the third month, we're going to be doing a student scholarship competition where we take the metaverse I made in the middle month and we replace it with student work and work that's been donated for the student scholarship competition. And in that way, we can use these NFTs of the works that were in the gallery and also from the AI Artathon, and use that as weights for like, everyone can vote, but if you own these NFTs, then your vote counts more. And then we use the votes to determine who are the winners of the month. And it's a little complicated, but that's what I want to do. I haven't actually programmed the student scholarship thing yet, but hopefully I'll be in a place and I'll actually be able to do what I'm describing. But that is the vision for this, is to expand it to be doing real world good with, students and getting education and expanding access to education. And and I hopefully it'll add utility for all the artists that participate too, where it's just like, hey, like you can do it. Like you can purchase any NFT from any of these artists that have participated in my galleries in the past. And then there's a list of, 100 NFT artists that are automatically enrolled in this. And then you can say like, hey, do you want to participate in this student gallery competition, like as a voter? And if you already own it, you can go here and it'll compound how much your vote is worth.
That's really cool, Amy. I like the fact that you started with charities and then you're going to move on to students. I love it. I love all of it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I really admire you. I mean, I'm glad I'm here, like the starting point, kind of, because you're gonna be real big in the future. You'll see. I'm just amazed of all the things you're doing and all the things you did before and all the things that you're learning. It's pretty cool.
And like the only thing I really wish is that if I had more time between galleries, I would give the artist more sneak peeks of the gallery itself. And I would say like, hey, like, can you tweet about this, or like include this in your promotional material, or, like try to get the word out there, because
if you need me to tweet, Amy, you just say something and I will tweet your stuff out. I try to share when I remember, but send me a message and I will fucking tweet the shit out of it.
Yeah, the only problem, well, I mean, there's a lot of problems, but it's like a time constraint is like, oh man, this looks like shit until it doesn't look like shit, like until it comes together. And so like, and I don't want to advertise it until it's done, because like, what if something happens? I only want to go hardcore until like I have it, like it's done. Like at this point, this is my 6th one, so I'm pretty sure it'll get done, but like, you never know. And I don't know. I just feel more comfortable after it's been completed.
Will you do me a favor? Will you add NFT World Builder to your bio?
Oh my gosh. The maker of worlds.
Yes. Yes.
But like it's true, like, okay, so the thing with this, I don't know how much you've seen of this, Robert, but like you can promote your project without putting down other people's projects, but the thing that makes my project different is that it doesn't feel like you're in an art gallery. It's more like an open world experience, and like you can discover, and like there's a path that, like, I try to make it so there's a flow so like you don't miss anything important, but you can pretty much choose to go whatever direction you want. Things are in unexpected places, which is why I have the AI art, because I don't want to put people's like, if you give me your art, I'm not going to put it somewhere where people can't see the details. You know? But like, it's a 3D world that I have total control of it, so why wouldn't I put things in weird places so people be like, what is that? And, you know, more visually appealing than things just being at eye level all the time. So,
yeah, the last gallery looked like it had like a double helix, and it had a dragon and like this crazy tree. I was like, wow. It was amazing. Just amazing.
Yeah, and like the gallery before that was the first time I actually had animations in the gallery, and basically it was, you know, thoughts flying through your head. So it was like 4 masks, and then the NFT art was like, you know, flying through the air. And just then I had snippets from a big space that we had about stigmas. So like I was really trying to, people were saying like, okay, well, this is a bunch of pretty art, but like, what is this about? So like, I'm, you know, every time I do one of these galleries, I listen and I try to improve, and, you know, just make sure that like my vision and the art are like, everything is done. But yeah, and yeah, we have 2 more this year, and then I get to have like a month break basically, from making a custom metaverse, and I think I need it. But I'm really looking forward to the one in January, because it's a theme redux, because, you know, people didn't really know me for the first 6 months, and my first gallery was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. My second was Alice in Wonderland. Like, people want to do Alice in Wonderland again, so we will do a, you know, we'll just do it again. But it will be better, because I know more people now.
So instead of Alice in Wonderland, it'll be Alice Through the Looking Glass.
Oh, actually, I have an actual name for it. It's in, if you go to contribute.
What's the second book? Like,
yeah.
What's back?
I'm calling it Alice, the Witch, and the Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, I love it.
And basically the themes are women, optical illusions, rugged projects, humanizing animals, magic, having fun, consequences, and community. So a lot of themes, but what I'm going to do is you're going to start in a modern wardrobe. Like, you know, the TV shows that are like walk through my celebrity closet, like that kind of a wardrobe closet situation. And then there's going to be portals from that to the different themes. And, you know, it'll just be like an intense theme of each one of them. So
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
That's the vision anyway. We will see how that goes. But yeah, I'm 100% looking forward to this, and then we're gonna use those same that same metaverse to do the students competition, and it's gonna be super fun.
That's cool. Hey, I gotta go. Thank you for having me. But if I can come, I can probably come later. I'm not sure. But yeah, thank you for everything, and I guess I hope to see you soon.
I hope to see you as well. Sometimes I feel bad that there's not like more of an involved process with the artist. We'll have to change that next year, because it's just like, give me your stuff, wait a month, and then you can see your stuff in the metaverse. It'll be fine.
Yeah. No, but you're doing a good job. I think you're doing great. And I just gotta get more people. But thank you again, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.
It was great to talk to you, and I'll see you later. Thank you so much for coming, even though you were busy. Yeah. Pixie, you know that I could talk to you forever, so...
For hours. So, if you have to go, I'm not worried.
I do not need to go. I just, you know how it is. Yeah. Did you come to my space last night? I don't think you were there.
I did not come to your space last night. I worked out. I had a busy day yesterday, so it's like, nah. I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of crazy right now, so.
Well, okay, first of all, good for you for exercising. I am 100% on board with this. Like, healthy you every day, any day, every day. I woke up one morning and I was like, I need a like an under the desk treadmill. Like, my under the desk elliptical machine is just not cutting it. It just makes it so that my lap is elevated enough that my cat wants to sleep on me. So, like, my legs are on an elliptical machine, but I'm not using it. And I think it's actually making my ankle sore because it's at an angle all day. So, but I need to, like, get one that I can, put under my desk and, walk 3 miles per hour while I'm working, and then take out from under my desk and actually go, like, running and then put it back under my desk for the next day. Like, basically, I need to stand at my standing desk more, which I'm trying to do.
Yes. Or maybe also get a standing desk.
Yeah, like, I have one. I bought it as soon as, okay, so I bought it when I got an offer letter for, like, a lot of money, and then that company ghosted me, but then I already had a standing desk, so it's only moved with me one time. But it's one of those that it comes with, like, you can actually set the height, but I like just pushing the button a lot. It's electrical. So I always just...
That's awesome.
It makes, like, the worry noise. I'm like, zzz, zzz. So, like, I know my numbers. I really like it. And then, so I've been trying to stand more. And so, and my new company was like, oh, we'll give you $300 for office equipment. And I was like, elliptical machines are ergonomic equipment. But then they were like, we're not paying you. Like, we suspended that project, and I was like, fuck it. It's like, right. I live by myself. I don't really spend a lot of money on luxuries or anything, and spending $300 on a treadmill when I know at this point, like, I'm not going to the gym, I'm not breathing other people's air, like, that ship has sailed. So I have a kettlebell at home, multiple kettlebells. I've got multiple weights. I've got the squat bar, and I don't use any of it at home. The only way I can get myself to fucking work out is to go work out around other people, and it sucks. I used to go to there's literally a gym downstairs I pay for. I live in a condo building, so I mean, I don't pay for it, but like a part of my HOA fees pay for it, so it's like I pay for it. It's, but I don't want to breathe other people's air. Other people are gross. So
it is true.
And then I have to get dressed and
Humans
everything.
are filthy.
Yeah. So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, but if it doesn't work out and you have this treadmill in your house, like, where are you going to put it? Hoarder. So
my problem, like I said, the other thing is that like my whole house is just so packed. So if I bought a treadmill, it would just get covered in clothes. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, so that was the deal with myself. I'm like, you need to clean up your house first, and then you can talk to me about getting this treadmill. Because like, if you can't even like get it into your living room, like there's no reason to have it in your house. Shazray, how are you?
Hi, how are you, Amy? I'm literally co-hosting with Blue, but I left because I wanted to join your space. I have to go back again, but it's like 2 a.m. here, my time. But I just wanted to come here to support you. And I saw on Zeller's post, like, she, like the video she posted of the metaverse that you've made. It's amazing, honestly. I love it. I just love how you have done it, and you're on the way to becoming like one of the best metaverse creators one day. And
yeah, we're calling her
I'm so excited for this for you. I'm sorry? Am I rugging?
No. We're calling her a world builder.
Oh, God. I think I'm rugging. Oh, God.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Is Pixie rugging or am I rugging?
I think it's one of those situations where you cannot hear Pixie, but she was just saying that she's started to call me the maker of worlds.
Yeah, the maker of worlds. Oh, God. So I'm like new to NFT, but once I'll be starting to mint next month, and I would love to get one of your banned books. And I'm so excited, and I'm such a big fan of Zeller's and yours, and it's nice to find genuine people on the in the community, because there's so many people you come across and they're so weird out here, especially in spaces. So it's just nice to have nice people around, And hi, Pixie. I'm so sorry I cannot hear your voice, but I wish I could. I don't know why I'm just rugging, but I just wanted to come here and just give a shout out to Amy. And I love supporting women, to be honest with you. Women supporting women is just amazing. People love seeing women just fall and criticize them all the time and just saying mean things. I guess I don't know why, but I just love it when women shine and they rise in their own respective field. So I love it. I just want all of us to kick ass in whatever work we do, and just stay humble end of the day, So best of luck to you, and best of luck for your collection on OpenSea. I hope you could hear this.
Yes, I can. And Zeller is okay. So I'm always telling people that people are my favorite, but honestly, like they're like different people are my favorite for different reasons. But Zeller is honestly, she's so genuine and so enthusiastic, and like I just like vibe with her, honestly. And we've come to some agreements where she does promotional films for me, and I could not be happier with this arrangement. Like, I really do need these videos to explain what I'm doing, to get, like, she's out there promoting me because she's really excited about these projects, and I need to explain my project. I don't know why my every idea I have is amazing, but so complicated. I'm not sure if that's boastful or not, but it's just one of those things where it's like a simple NFT can be spoken about in 30 seconds, and you get the whole project and the idea of the project, but mine has a little meat, and like if you are around me enough, you'll get the full picture. So hopefully it makes it a not boring project at least. But what I wanted to say was, yeah, when you are ready to showcase your art, you can just, DM me and fill out that Google form. That way I stay organized and we will get your art showcased. And I already have the themes for next month and for the New Year's. And yeah, I'll just make sure that I stay on top of having those. If you go to bandbooksart/contribute, you can see the next 3 art galleries I'm going to have, and you can prepare for them. And we're only going to be doing 4 custom galleries next year, so hopefully I won't burn the artist out either. So, yeah, I love supporting everybody. I don't want to, have tiffs or drama with anybody. It's not my fault if someone else starts it with me, but I'm going to approach this space as genuinely as possible and, give people the benefit of the doubt and, give people equal access. And it's not my fault if I like to be in women's spaces and, propose my project to women more.
I'm sorry, I'm speaking in between, but I cannot agree with you more. I would rather support women projects than, I'm not being biased or something, but it's we live in such a male-dominated society, no matter what field you go into. I remember when I was starting out as a photographer in my country, in Pakistan, I was told by one of my teachers that, you're never going to make it because you're female there's no female photographer here. And I was just looking at him hello, I was the best student in the class. What the hell? This is ridiculous. And then I didn't even care what he said because he was a very narrow-minded person. And I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. Oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have abused. I'm sorry. But I was just forget it. I'm going to do it. And I went for it. And out of all my friends, I was the first person to get a job in one of my favorite photography agencies in my country, and my professor and so I can completely agree with you on that when you say that you would rather support or you would rather see females entrepreneurs or anything shine and just support them and be in their groups. It's really uplifting, So yeah.
So yeah, Droppies, what do you have to say?
Hey,
Hi.
hey, yeah. First of all, Amy, thank you for the space. I want to respond to something that I heard from Shazare. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Shazre.
Shazre. Oh, that's so much more elegant than how I said it. Yeah. So I feel like I am on the opposite end of the spectrum, where I don't usually like going to women's spaces because I hear a lot of things that I don't really resonate with. I prefer to work with men because I'm kind of crunchier, I guess. I don't know, I'm quick to stand up for myself, and I'm quick to say what needs to be said. But that's also because nobody has just been blatantly misogynistic to me. I've never, ever, ever in my life had a man tell me you can't do something because X or because you're a woman, right? It's always been more subtle things that I've never really been able to prove or say. So I just kind of have pushed through. But I think it's really inspiring to hear that even in the face of blatant misogyny, that you're able to come forward and do something beautiful and achieve your goals and dreams despite all things stacked against you. So you got my follow.
Yeah.
Hello there, America. Coming live and direct to you from South Wales, United Kingdom. Welcome to the gate. The mic is yours, my friend. Is it okay to speak?
Yeah. I guess.
Okay then. Right, hello everybody. Nice to meet you. Coming live and direct to you from South Wales, United Kingdom. Let's get the show going, see? The energy going. Right then, my name's Andrew Commando. I'm from the UK. I'm an entertainer, a motivational speaker, killer combination, man. Y'all look at Sarji there, she's laughing her head off. It's all about entertainment, man. It's all about entertainment.
Amy?
So I'm an
Yeah.
entrepreneur, I want to become a millionaire.
Hey, okay.
These NFTs, I'm looking for help for NFTs, right? Some American come on my live the other day.
Hey, I know exactly how to help you, friend. What you need to do is send me a DM. I'm going to send you a link to my NFT handbook. It's going to tell you every single thing that you need to know to give your future collectors an irresistible offer. So I'll hook it up. And yeah, let's get back on topic. And whenever you have something relevant to contribute to the topics that we're speaking on today, feel free to add to that. But thanks for coming up for a sec.
I'm sorry about that. Sometimes it's hard to tell when people are being genuine, and just it's fine. So yes, Commando, it was fun, but Drappies is amazing, and I recommend her her pamphlet that she has and her guidebook. I downloaded it when it was free and have not read it, but I will do that someday. And actually follow it.
Read that.
Yeah,
read that. If you want,
testimonial.
You want to drive those sales.
Yeah, but so spite-driven career development is a thing. Like, someone tells you can't do it, and you're like, absolutely not. We're gonna be doing that. That's me 100%. That's actually Ban Books Art, where they're like, we're banning books. You cannot talk about these topics. And I was like, oh yeah, well, now we're just only going to talk about these topics in the most elegant and confusing way possible. So there are like recurring themes with banned books, like LGBTQIA, and so far we've done like drug usage and misogyny and stuff like that, where when you see it as art, it's actually really subtle, where you're like, well, Amy, this just looks like a bunch of really cool art. And you would be right, because when conservatives try to make these topics to be very scary things that we should not talk about. But when you see it in person, you're like, well, actually, it's not harmful in any way. So, like, whatever.
I feel like a couple things. I feel like, one, it's good that we have these like pieces of literature that we can go back and learn, how like we've evolved as a society over time. Like, I think that's something that shouldn't be taken away from like the youth and just people who are interested in that type of like content. But also I feel like some of this stuff, not all of it, right, but some of this stuff is a little subjective. So it makes me wonder, like, the people who are doing, like, the banning of all this stuff, it's like, what are you trying to say? Like, if you're looking at certain things through a certain lens, it's a little sus, right? Like, why can't we just look at art and literature and just appreciate it for what it is and for, where we've come from, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, for example, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, my very first one that I did, it's a religious allegory. It's about the story of Jesus Christ. And it's just in such a way that, it was just transformed. And religious people banned it because they're like, it had magic in it. And if you actually, like, read stories from the Bible, there's, like, literally magic in the Bible. It's like, yeah, it's exhausting. So yeah, that's why I encourage people to get education and, critical thinking, because we may not come to the same conclusions or agree, but at least, there's a discourse. Shazri, what would you like to say?
Yeah, Amy, firstly, I didn't know you had an entertainer in the group. That was so funny. Oh my god, when here I'm so sorry, that was just so funny. Oh my god. Yeah, I just wanted to say that, like, when you speak about how religious groups, they
they get scared and they start banning things which seem something that they cannot resonate to. I'll tell you something. End of the day, it's not even about religion. It's just about power and control. All they want to do is just to control what what they think, so you can think like them. And they just want people to believe that whatever they think is not right, you just follow us. And that's not even the basis of religion. Any religion, no religion forces you to do anything you don't want to do. But because of the mainstream media and because of just the whole power and control, they just want you to believe things that they've made up. So so many things get banned and so many things get distorted and so many things they just get really just dug under the carpet. And it's really sad because then when people, they grow up and they think that, oh, this is right, this is wrong, but they should think for themselves what they feel is right and wrong. I mean, keeping your intentions pure, not hurting anyone else, but every person should decide for themselves what they consider is good for them and bad for them, keeping this intention that you're not going to hurt the other person. So honestly, we live in a very, very sad, pathetic world in which it's all about power. End of the day, it's about who you can control, and it's just about making sure that your insecurities, they fall in are, and just controlling us with stupid things. So yeah, that's what I want to say.
Yeah, it's a really interesting point. Sorry, Amy. I just wanted to add to this real quick. Because, especially when you take into consideration that these books are being banned specifically from, public education, systems, it's okay, so does that mean that, what, so if they're taking away, a well-rounded approach, whether it be, I feel like, okay, so I'm going to out myself. I really don't like to talk about politics because I don't think that it's super relevant. And I just feel so for myself, I do consider myself a conservative, but not to the point where it's I'm a crazy person, you know what I mean? And I do think that gay rights should be a thing. I think that, people should have access to education. So I'm not what I'm trying to say is I'm not crazy, the media would have you believe, but it's why are we having public education systems even trying to indoctrinate our children to think a specific way? It should be, the purpose of school should be not to control whether or not somebody believes a certain thing or not. It should be to educate the kids and teach them what they need to know to be productive citizens. So yeah, I'm definitely annoyed by that as well, Shazray.
In a different life where the word conservative hasn't been bastardized, I just happen to think that it's fiscally responsible for the government to pay for education and have the social programs, because in the end it's less costly to do preventative care and to educate people so they could have enough money so that they can fend for themselves. And that that apparently makes me a bleeding heart liberal. But I just personally don't understand people that want to be in other people's business. How can just let people do what they're doing as long as they're not hurting anybody else. I don't understand people that give a shit about what other people are doing.
That part. You just dropped the mic.
It's when a person's born, oh, what school are they going to? Oh, okay, so you have, so what do they want to do when they grow up? Oh, they want to do this, so why don't they do this? Oh, so when are you getting married? Oh, you're married. When are you having your child? Oh, you have one kid. When are you having your second child? When are you having your third child? Oh, that's it. You're such a, lazy mom. You're such a this person. You're so this. You're so... I mean, just look at yourself, for God's sake. Stop. It's so easy. Just, I hate it. I just hate people in general. Sometimes I just wish that just give, like, I'm not like, I love men and women and everyone equally. I'm not saying that, but sometimes you get so frustrated. I just say, just give women another, like, planet to live in. I don't mind living away for just maybe a few days. I don't know, just get super high and then I'll be back. I don't know, like, sometimes I just want to leave and not fight, and just not fight, just leave. Bye. And
Well-
you can give us Backstreet Boys, like, I don't mind that.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, we gotta have the Backstreet Boys. Like, if we're going to another planet, like, we gotta at least have one boy band, right? But no, like, quite honestly, like, I think that's one of the beautiful things about decentralization and, like, the power of being able to not just, like, connect with people from all over the world, but also to be able to do business with people all over the world. I mean, it's really incredible the, like, level that you can take a, like, relationship that you met, like, with somebody online, and, like, how connected you feel to somebody when you are actually, like, putting your money where your mouth is and supporting another business owner from all the way across the world. I mean, there's nothing quite like it. And even, like, at the height of social media, it wasn't until I got into Web3 that I actually started communicating with people from other countries regularly. So I think that's, like, one of the beautiful things and something that I look forward to.
Kind of off topic, but I'm not following the guy that came in before, but he does have a decent amount of followers, and I was like, maybe this will work out, we'll see. And, sometimes people have, like they come into a room and they're like, brr, 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 and then you're just like, I guess you have an intro, dude. But then he just kept going on, and I was like, this is not the appropriate place. So, yeah.
It's just, like, get your shit together. Like, if you're gonna come in and, like, be, like, this extroverted person, like, that's great. But, like, at least have your pitch down. Like, tell me who you are and why you're doing this. Don't just say, bah, 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 like, in the middle of a good discussion.
This is what Creative Owls was talking about, by the way.
Yes, that you would be so surprised. Like, I try so hard to give people chances, but it's to the point where it's like, boundaries, don't forget boundaries.
Yeah. Sorry, Pixie was not here for that, but yeah, I got told off because I misinterpreted a space. It's fine. I'm not ever gonna bring that up again. No, me never.
It took it easy on you, to be honest, but no, I mean, like, it is what it is. But yeah, like, we're going to put Creative Owls on a redemption arc. I think everyone deserves a second chance, and he really is a nice guy. I know you probably don't believe me, but he actually is, like, a pretty solid dude.
Sorry guys, I was out. Who are we talking about?
I was like,
some other boy band?
You've already apologized, so I'm not gonna make you just, like, apologize forever, droppies. I'm not that bitter about being told off. But now I brought it up again. So
well, next time, call him out right back. Like, that's the door that opens up for you. Like, anytime somebody's just being, like, rude or, like, whatever, and they're, like, just trying to be crunchy for whatever reason, like, you have the opportunity at that point to defend yourself and to say something. So, like, maybe because you were in the listener box, like, you couldn't like say anything right then and there, but you definitely could have tweeted him, and you definitely could have said, like, hey, I didn't appreciate the way you spoke to me in today's space. Like, this is the type of misogyny that I see, like, on a day-to-day basis, like, at least in the United States, right, where women feel like we have to, like, from the day that we are like able to communicate with other people, we are taught that we have to be polite and sweet, and we have to respect our elders and, like, be, like, this delicate flower, right? But then as you, like, get older, people start to, like, pick those petals off of the flower, and they start to, like, make you this small person that has to, like, if you stand up for yourself, then you're, like, too much, right? You're too masculine, you're too much, you got too much energy. But if you stay small, then you get walked all over, and you don't ever have a voice, and you can never speak up for yourself. And so it's like this balance that you have to create that's almost impossible to achieve. And so this is one of the things that I tell to a lot of like female entrepreneurs whenever I do these like types of consultations is like, if somebody, like if a man especially, like anytime you're in a room with like a group of men, you know, is even a better example, but like if they're opening up the door for like aggressiveness and like to be like, you know, just like if they're in their masculine state, then that is an opportunity for you to step up that masculine energy and just be like, yo, like, okay, you're gonna call me out, like I'm gonna match that, and you can't complain about it, and you can't get your feelings hurt because you did the same thing to me. And a lot of times, like, that's a great way to get respect from men in the industry is by just, you know, matching out and just prove to them, like, you're not going to walk all over me. It's unfortunate that it has to be that way because it makes things uncomfortable, but at the same time, it's unfortunate that they feel that they can just, you know, be that way in the first place, right?
Yeah, so, yeah, okay, there's a few things to unpack here. It's just one of those things where it's, like, professionalism and not wanting to be a part of, like, a Twitter drama. Like, is it really worth the energy, or should I just disengage from the space and go somewhere else and conserve my own energy? But, yeah, I went to NFTtalk.space. I saw Droppies as the co-host, and I was like, we love being around Droppies. And so I went into the space. I was there for a minute or two. It was just the host and the co-host speaking, but I was listening to the conversation as I was getting like my bearings around me, and then the host started talking directly to the audience. And he asked, what was your funniest Halloween costume you've ever worn? So I requested to speak because, like, I wasn't sure if, like, my phone was doing, like, the Android weirdness where, like, there were speakers, I just couldn't see them because, like, you know, or if it was opening up. But I requested to speak, and then I got directly called out about how you can't just come into a space and request the mic and people see that and no one's going to respect you if you just keep and I was like,
no, he did not say that. He did not say those words.
That is so dumb. Is he like getting paid to come on space? Like, that's so constipated. Like, seriously, like, why?
No, so Amy didn't know the rules of the space. This is a regular space that goes on. He's the host, I'm the co-host. It's a regular space that's been going on for longer than a year now. We have pretty consistent audience members who know the rules, but every time before the space, we say the rules, and there's about 4 booths throughout the entire 2 hours that the show goes on, where we reiterate those rules. Basically, Amy came up and she requested because she wanted to be a part of the conversation, and that's always welcome. However, the question that he asked the audience, it was meant for the audience to comment their answer on the Twitter space, right? So Amy, I guess, came in and she didn't get the information that she needed to participate in the space in like the way that follows the rules. So she came up, and then this is where like Owls, like his name is Creative Owls, who was like the host of the show, and he was rude, right? Like he basically was like, oh no, like we don't, we're not doing that here. Like we don't accept like speakers. Like you need to follow the rules. Like that's not the vibe, and we need to keep things like straightforward. And he was just sharp about it, and he was a little bit cold about it. So you know, like that's where I had to draw the line, and I made sure to speak with him after the space and told him it's not okay to speak to people like that. Because these are our community members. These are the people that, you know, we're learning from. Like we're not the end all be all by any means, and we have to, you know, act accordingly and be respectful. It's unfortunate because I know there's like not a worse feeling than just like, you know, going up to a space excited to talk about your experience and then just getting like shamed for doing that. Like I empathize, you know, I really do empathize because I wouldn't want to be in that position myself. But I'm trying to make it up to Amy. You know, on Monday we have spaces where we encourage people to come up and talk about their milestones and talk about like some of the updates that they're doing. It's just we try to keep Friday spaces more educational before we bring speakers up at the end to contribute to the discussion. All in all, Amy, yeah, like I just would love to make it up to you. I'm so sorry it's been affecting you for this long, because that's never the intention, right? Like I don't want to be partnered with people who are, you know, going to make people feel this way like for days on end. So Yeah, like I hope that there's some way that I can make it up to you, girl.
I mean, we already discussed this. It's already like in the past, except I keep talking about it. Sorry. But you know, yeah, it just, yeah, the way that I remember it being, it started, it was like you said, but it started out with, you can't just, you know, come into spaces and request. And I was like, look, man, it was, yeah. But I mean, everyone's done that where they go into a space and they misread the room and it's, you know, not what they thought it was. And, you know, sure. But, yeah, it's just a thing that happened. It's just going to become one of those funny stories that happens. Like that time I got threatened with getting kicked out of the space at the Totally Uninformed Opinions, which I was in the wrong for. So, and then that's just a story I tell.
But here's the thing, Amy, like, if somebody does something that truly does, like, bother you, like, it's not unprofessional to respond to that. Like, I think maybe in, like, a corporate world where you're, like, afraid of losing your job because you can't, like, you can't speak your mind freely in a corporate setting, you know, for whatever reason. I think in that situation, like, yeah, like, you wouldn't want to say anything. There's too much on the line to risk. But when it comes to representing who you are as, like, a business owner, and especially if your brand is, like, representing, like, a piece of you that you really care about, like, I think, I don't know, I'm just speaking from personal experience, my audience appreciates whenever I have my hot takes and whenever I do stand up for like, my beliefs and whenever I do correct people, because at the end of the day, like, we're just, like, one person in, like, a whole entire, like, tank of sharks. You know, not everybody's going to be nice, not everybody's going to be pleasant, and at the end of the day, like, when we're alone, especially solo founders like yourself, like, nobody else is going to advocate for you like you will for you, you know? So I want to encourage you to feel empowered to speak up for injustices that you're feeling, and just, like, let it be known. It's a really freeing and liberating experience from my experience, at least.
Yeah, and also setting boundaries is good and healthy, and when other people see that it's being done in the space, it becomes more normalized, and then it's not as anxiety-inducing, and people say, like, oh, well, you know, like, I adore Chonli, and she's very much, like, unafraid of telling people what happened in a space and setting up her boundaries and making sure everybody is safe in a space. And
She scares me.
She's amazing. Like,
yeah.
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
She's a favorite.
She came into the creative show one day, and Owl's like, he did not get her name right, and she goes, "It's Chon Li." Like, she said it like 4 times, like, "It's Chon Li," and, like, I'll never forget that. Like, I know her brand, I know her name, I know who she is, and I only met her once, so she's killing it.
Yeah, you know, she's like a brand, you know, and she's someone who you'll never forget because of, number one, her voice. I love raspy voices. You know, she was in a space and we were just like 4 people, and I told the host, you know, Chanli's voice is like, you know, like that raspy Bryan Adams voice, and we all started laughing like Bryan Adams' voice. And, you know, she's just so fun and cool and everything, but she's also been through some, like, she was talking about how she's also been harassed in different spaces, which I don't, like, it's not surprising considering how bold she is, so I would expect how men would get harassed, like, you know, would get intimidated by her. So she got harassed, like, literally. It was really disgusting what happened in one space she was in. I don't know if I should say it, but it was really, really bad. The guy did something really disgusting. You know, she was talking and he got aroused, and it was just really bad. And she was telling me about, like, we were like just 4 girls, just like over here, and she was telling us about it, and I felt so bad for her. And she was like, yeah, that's what happens. And then she left the space, obviously. But, you know, since all of us are talking behind a screen, right, you never know who is in, like, when there's so many people in a space, you know, you never know. So it's so important. Like, I'm new to NFT. It's been just 2 months for me here, but I've been through some sick spaces, okay? Because initially I had no idea about them, but once you, what I did was I just started to just listen first to people instead of talking. And then I realized that, okay, I belong here. I belong here. These are safe people. These are people I'm more comfortable with. So I guess with time, you realize that. And you know what? You can even sense it in people who've been on these spaces for a good year or more than that. Their voice sounds calmer. They sound more confident, and they know exactly where they belong. And if you notice, they're not in all of the spaces. They're not like jumping from one space to the other. They have a specific space they go to, and that's it, done. They have this routine, you know? So I feel like it all depends on when you get maybe experienced in spaces. And also when there's a conflict that arises in spaces, how do you deal with that? So I feel like with time, you understand how to deal with it. Because end of the day, you are not getting paid to be on a space. You are going on a space. It's like a favor for the other person, right? Like you're helping the other person build a space. So, and when you get criticized for it, that's just, you know, that's rude and that's wrong on their end. So, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I think these are all like extremely relevant things that actually don't get talked about enough, especially through the lens of women. Namely, like this, so it's all about matching this masculine energy, right? Like if some dude is like getting aroused on a space, like I'm pretty sure that like all of the other dudes in that room don't want that either. Like that's gay. Like most men like are not, like they're like, they don't want anything to do with that. Like, and so like if you like are just as bold as the person who's literally like doing unspeakable things on the room, and you like match that and be like, ew dude, like that's fucking nasty, like cut that shit out, like, and you tell the host to boot him out, like you just can't back down, and you have to be so unapologetically like you and bold that, and make it extremely clear that there's not a single person that is going to be able to like fuck you up and like to shake you down. Like that's the energy that we have to take whenever we're like logging onto the internet and like preparing to deal with like really crude like crypto bros, for lack of a better word, right? And it's hard. It's not easy, and it's scary at first. Like I remember like I had to tell a dude to go dip his balls in the toilet because he was being an asshole to me. Like
Now that you're saying it sounds so funny because I'm actually imagining him doing that.
Those saggy balls. Yeah, like literally, like I just, because I was not going to tolerate like getting like muted and unmuted and like interrupted and stuff. So like they were being crude, talking about like nasty things. So I was like, fine, like if this is the nature of the space, if this is the vibe of the space, just like I'm going to respect the vibe of like a woman's space, or we're talking about like books and like, you know, more tame things, I'm going to take that same energy and I'm going to match it to the vibe of all these crypto bros, and I'm going to show them who I am. And it's sure as hell not somebody who's going to take any bullshit from these dudes who are going to try and shake me down but make me out to be some delicate like woman who doesn't know what she's talking about. But that's, again, just my advice. I'm sure there's probably other ways to handle it too.
No, that really sums it up. And you know, I was just thinking, Chun Li, she's like the Madonna of NFTs, right? I mean, she's like so bold, and she does whatever the hell she wants. No wonder people get intimidated by her. She's like the Madonna of this NFT community. I really feel that. Like, I don't know, it just suddenly just struck me that, you know, she's someone who wants attention, and she gets it, and she knows it, that she wants it, and she's not afraid to show it. And but when you talk, she doesn't have an attitude or anything. She's just herself. She's herself. She's her complete self. That's why people will always remember her, because she's not copying another person, you know? She's just herself, which is why also people can get intimidated by her. Yeah.
Yeah, and okay, a couple of rambling thoughts, but I'm the host. I'm allowed to do this. I really love being a woman that's friends with women that identify as women that are friends mostly with men. Like, all of my friends are like, I'm only friends with guys. And I'm like, oh, what am I, like, chopped liver? But, you know, it's all in the attitude. And also, like, I was a Japanese major in college, and the way that, like, Japanese works is, like, it's very ambiguous, and if it doesn't need to be said, you don't say it. So, like, a lot of times I'll just not say things because I think it's obvious. But then people are like, but you're so shy, Amy. And I'm like, well, I didn't say anything because I thought it was obvious that you need to do this. So, like, it's, you know, I don't want, it's exhausting, right? To have to, like, always be setting boundaries. I just don't think women need to have the burden of, you know, setting basic respect in a space. Like, yeah, if it happens, shut it down. But, like,
but that's the thing. Like, it's not just a woman thing. Like, the guys are disrespectful to each other, but that's just the culture. Like, they'll literally, like, say, like, hey, bro, like, you're ugly as fuck. Like, what's up? You know? So it's just learning how to, like, work with men and, like, speak their language. I think is, like, the biggest thing, because it's so different than how we as women, like, communicate with each other. But yeah, like, I just wouldn't take things too personally, and I just always assume that, like, people are stupid. Like, not that they're stupid, because everybody has, like, value in their own way, but it's, like, you just have to assume that, like, people don't innately, like, understand your vibe. They don't innately understand, like your goals, your missions, or how you want to be treated. So it's like you have to kind of, like, train people how to treat you.
Self-deprecating humor is not helpful. I'm just going to tell you all as a voice of experience. Like, I've had to ghost entire friend groups because, you know, I'm the only person allowed to make fun of me, and then they pick up on the fact I'm making fun of myself, and then it becomes a thing, and I'm like, instead of saying anything, you can all just, you know, rot in hell and just, like, walk away. So, self-deprecating humor, do not do. It's, like, you know, never put yourself down. Always sing praises of yourself. Everybody else will follow suit. So, yes. If there's one takeaway of today, it is A, go to my metaverses because they're amazing. And B, please treat yourselves well and make sure that whatever energy you want around you, that you're cultivating that, because, like, you know, I would rather be in a space that, you know, everyone is just being, well, I like organized spaces where everybody's being polite together, and look at us.
You know, I'm so happy I joined your space, Amy, because the other one was just getting to my nerves. And I really, like, you know, when you posted this, I was like, oh God, I have to like come here and support you. Although we haven't spoken so much, but, you know, it's like you get a vibe from a person, right? It's so random. Like, I've literally spoken to Zeller just twice, but we've been on spaces, but literally when I spoke to her the second time, I found out so much more about her, and I was like, you're like my sister. You're literally like my sister. Whatever you've gone through, I feel like I've gone through, but it's like we're in different, you know, time zones and all of that. But it's so weird how all of us, like, you know, we all belong to a different culture, different place, different everything, but we're human. End of the day, we have feelings, we have emotions, we get hurt on a daily basis. And I'm going to be a bit biased here, especially women get hurt on a daily basis. I don't know, for me it's true. But because I come from a place, I love my country, I love it, but there is a lot of misogyny, and it's so much that, you know, sometimes we feel as women, especially in places like Iran and Pakistan and all, we feel like, I wish I was born a man, because I don't see a point of being a woman in my area. Like, I really don't. So it sucks. It really sucks. and then you see women all around you and they're doing this, they're doing that. My mom is an architect, she's a landscape architect, she has her own business, she's striving. I'm also striving in my way, and I'm so glad that I'm lucky enough to be born in a family which do not have this problem, but there are people who have that problem and they are born in it and they have to live with it for the rest of their lives. So it's so important that, you know, they need to have some voice, like from somewhere, anywhere, just to tell them that you are fine and you're perfect the way you are. You're born a woman, which is just fantastic. I mean, you have the power to do anything in this world. You know, as a woman, look, you literally are the manager of the house. Like when you become a mom, like whoever wants to be a mom, the mother in the house, she's the manager, she's the boss. You know, she's the one who manages everything, whether you're, you know, a mom or not a mom. Like you are, like, you know, it's just sad that as women, no matter what work field, like whichever career you choose, there will always be people who just would want to put you down because you're a woman, and of the day, and you can't do this because you're a woman. You need a man to think about this for you, you know. So I really pray for all the women out here who have no one. Honestly, they have literally no one, because even growing up, their parents also, you know, tell them that, oh, you know, your husband will do this for you, or that man will do this for you, this will. So it's like they engrave it in the child's mind that you are a girl and you're helpless. You know, you're damsel in distress always. You have to just ask for help. Like, it's like you can't teach a woman the mechanics of a car. Of course you can. Of course you can, and you should, you know. So it's a very misogynistic world we live in, and honestly I feel like no matter where you go, I mean, I've spoken to enough people on Spaces enough to realize that this happens everywhere. It literally happens everywhere, in every you know, everywhere. In some ways, in some places it happens more than others, but it happens, you know, everywhere.
Yeah, and
Is there any way to change the way that women are being treated in other countries? That seems like obvious. I'm super like uneducated on this topic.
Yeah, look, the only way is if, like, I have a son, he's a 5-year-old, okay? The only way we can change is if I change his thinking. I cannot change thinking of a 60-year-old person, because once you reach a certain age, your mindset, it won't change, you know. And if they've been brought up, if they've been told things in a certain way, that a woman will always be, you know, like your maid, or she will always be the one taking care of the house, and I'm going to be the one to earn money, and, you know, blah blah blah. So that is their thinking. Fine, they've gone through hell, they're going through hell, but I have to make sure my son doesn't grow up to be like that, so that he treats his wife equally, you know. So it's honestly my responsibility, because I'm now from a generation which is open-minded enough to think that I have to make sure my son doesn't end up like that. I'm not really afraid of the women who grow up. I'm afraid of the men who grow up, because it's honestly the mother's duty, end of the day, to make sure that her son, especially in the country where I live in, it's my duty as a mother that my son is open-minded enough to know that your wife is not your maid. She's your equal. You know, she's someone who should go out there, earn money, do whatever the hell she wants to do, and be your equal. I mean, that's why you get married, you know. But so it's so strange, like how, like, it's so amazing how I'm talking to other people in different countries and they don't have to face those problems. I have to face them, but thank God I was born in a family which is open-minded and doesn't think that way. But it's honestly my responsibility. It's the person's responsibility who has the leverage enough to create that difference, end of the day. No media, nothing like that can change. Like, you know, as people who are open-minded in those conservative, misogynistic countries, it's their responsibility. End of the day.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate that it's going to take generations and generations of mothers and sons to make this type of change. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's really as close as you can get. If there's enough people united on this, it's really as close as you can get to like changing the collective consciousness of how like women are viewed. Damn, that got deep.
The more more access to information that people have, the more people can, seek out that information as well. Like, even if you are raised in a conservative family, like, there's a lot of stories in America of like people raised in like, MAGA households, and then they're like, wow, this like just does not ring true. And then they have access to the information and they, educate themselves and do their own research. And all of a sudden, they've changed their viewpoint. So that's another reason why I'm against censorship, because, some people just do lack empathy and are not curious, but I think that, given the right tools, people, people, like, I'm very idealistic. Honestly, I just think that, given a choice, and knowing the facts, that most people will choose, like, the least harmful path with the information that they have at the time.
Well, that gets really muddy because it's like, I just don't even know what the truth is. Like, it's so difficult to find the truth because you have so many people with so much money that are just pushing these, like, narratives, and, like, half the time they're lying because actions speak louder than words, and most promises don't ever get fulfilled, like, when you look at, like, political campaigns and stuff. And then when you think about, like, all of the people who are getting arrested for either insider trading or like quid pro quo, like, or whatever, it's just like, how do you know, like, what deals are being done under the table, what narrative is being pushed, why are they pushing these narratives? It's quite literally impossible. Like, even if you do, like, your due diligence and you look at what the algorithm is pushing on, like, side A versus side B, and, like, you try extremely difficult to, like, get both viewpoints, it's just, it just seems that it's either, like, somebody's a fascist or somebody's a socialist, and there's no in between, and, like, it seems that you only get, like, the perspectives from, like, the two crazy sides. And it's like, I don't think the majority of Americans are even, like, this extreme. I really believe that the majority of Americans just want to fucking live their day to day and, like, be able to put food and groceries on the table, because with inflation and everything, that's getting extremely difficult. So, like, all of these other, like, things, like LGBTQ rights, or, all of these, like, other, like, human right issues, it's like, I think it's important to some people to the point where they're going to cry and throw up over certain things. But, like, at the end of the day, I think most Americans just want to, like, feed their families. So it's just really difficult to figure out, like, where is the line drawn? Like, there's just a serious problem, I think, with, like propaganda and, like Americans being able to, like, make good choices for the future of the country.
The worst part is we live in 2022 and there's still wars going on. And, like, with wars, even if it's in one place, like if it's in Ukraine or whatever, it affects the whole effing world. It affects the economy of the whole world. I don't want to get into politics and shit, but wars affect the entire world. Like, inflation, the petrol prices, everything. I mean, I have to, like, I'm in one city, my parents are in another. I want to go travel. I'm thinking about the cost, because it's so expensive now, traveling. It's like ridiculous. Even to just see my parents, I have to think about the price first. Like, how sad is that, it affects everyone, and it has affected the whole world. Basic food, basic necessities are not provided to people. And their income, even their like the minimum wage, it still doesn't suffice to what the basic needs, are. And it's like I feel like that's why now a lot of people, there's so much, like the robberies have increased, because like, end of the day, it's about survival. It's about survival. I mean, I don't want to make this space into a sad space, but people can do a lot of things for money. Like they will do unthinkable things for money, and that is reality. That is freaking reality. Anyway, this space is about Amy and the haunted guided tour. So let's just laugh now, okay? Guys, you will not believe what happened to me yesterday on a space. Oh my god, it was the most embarrassing thing ever. Like, God forbid it happens to any one of us. God forbid. But it was so embarrassing. I cannot begin to oh my. So I was co-hosting a space, and so this guy, we've been talking to him. He's a new artist and all, and he was like, okay guys, so I just gotta go for a minute and I'll be back. And we're like, okay. And the host is like, this is why I love talking to new artists and blah blah blah. And suddenly, oh my god, he flushes the toilet and we can hear everything. Oh my god, we heard everything. There were like about 50 people on that space, and I felt so bad for him because I was a co-host and I could not stop laughing. I was laughing so hard that I started to cry. I was literally in tears. And then the poor thing, I think he flushed the toilet twice, and then he got up and we heard every single detail, and everyone was laughing. It was so funny. And then the poor thing, he came back up. He's like, oh, so I'm back now. The poor thing was like, he saw his mic and his mic was on, and then he just left. And then right after that, the host is like, okay, Shazray, what do you have some words? And I just left the group because I just left the space because I couldn't stop laughing. It was so funny, and oh my god. I will never forget that space.
I mean, does anybody else flush the toilet and then check? Because I always do that. I'm just like, flush, check, and then I'm just like, you should check and then flush. And I've not been hot mic'd yet, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm in spaces like 10 hours a day. What do you think happens? Okay, you guys are basically my reading material now.
It was so funny. Oh god, I will never forget that. Oh god, it's so sad. Honestly, it's a very sad thing because it could happen to any one of us. Like literally, it can happen to any one of us. So God forbid it does. Because I would leave. Oh my god!
I'm a victim of flushing on the mic, y'all. It was not a good time, okay? But I did not leave. I played it off. I was like, it's my time to shine. Like, I waited in the space so long to speak. Like, I would come in hot. It was
power flushing.
No. What?
It's just like a power flush move. Like, hey guys, flushing the toilet center. Just be like, flush.
Like, that's my entrance. That's my entrance, guys.
Oh god. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know Comards, right? Do y'all know that guy?
Yeah, he hasn't been around lately, but he has a newborn and had a medical emergency, but he'll be back.
Yeah, like his 10th medical emergency. I don't know. I got my own opinions about that guy. But anyway, whenever I first met him, I thought he was kind of cool. So, I was on his show or whatever, and then I just didn't even realize it. It was my turn to speak, and I was waiting, I had to pee, flush real loud, but I just kept it rolling, y'all. And everybody else was laughing for a minute, and I did not know. I really didn't know what I just done. I was like, why is everybody laughing? And then I realized as I was standing in the restroom, my mic was on. I never tapped that button again. I was like, oh, okay, well, moving on.
Oh god, that is so embarrassing. I would die. I would leave NFT. I would change my name, change everything. I would just go to a new country that never existed. I swear to God. I don't have the guts to do that. But you know what? The fact that you didn't make it a big deal and you were like, okay, fine, whatever, move on, is the reason how people can just change their mindset quickly that, okay, fine, we'll just talk about something else. But if you make it a big deal, then people make it a big deal, because you talk about it again and again. So, guys, just be careful. Please make sure about the mic. This is like serious. Like, I don't mind guys getting embarrassed. I don't want girls to get embarrassed. No, sorry.
I want to tell you
we
all.
don't want anyone to get embarrassed.
This story. So this is like the best thing that's ever happened at work. So I was supposed to go to a one-on-one meeting with my boss. And so I went onto the Zoom meeting, but my tech lead was there. So I was like, hey, coworker. And he literally jumped up out of his chair and hid underneath his desk. And then he got up and he was like peering into his laptop. And I was like, it's okay. It's just me. Like, are you supposed to be here? And like, it was just like, after a couple of minutes, I was like, I am not helping the situation. So I got out of the call and I just DM'd him and I was like, hey, because then I looked and I was in the wrong meeting. I was in the meeting from earlier in the day and apparently he just forgot to get out of the meeting and he was like deeply concentrating working. So he was just like, I thought it was a ghost. Because he had like earbuds in, so it was like a strange woman in his ear.
And yeah, you should have said, yes, I'm art inspired by banned books, so I could be a ghost, yes.
Yeah, so,
of course.
And then like I was in the meeting with my one-on-one with my manager, and I just started like cracking up. I'm like, I'm so sorry, but this just happened, and it is hilarious. And I'm so mean. It's like Schadenfreude, but like it's like if I tried to prank my coworker, I could not have pulled it off better. But yeah, I don't know why we all think it's funny. It's like we all go to the bathroom. Like it's not a huge deal, but like
I know it's not a huge deal, but when it actually happens, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh God, it is so funny. I'm so sorry, but that was so funny. Oh God, and that guy, he's really sweet.
Petey,
I feel so bad for him.
Oh,
I feel
sorry.
so bad for him.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of those things where after it happens, it's gonna haunt you, like while you take a shower, like you're trying to go to sleep, or like the rest of your life. But like it's fine.
Yeah. I guess everyone's forgotten about it, so whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Here we are. Still talking about it.
Here we are.
Like I'm not bitter, but I have too thin of a skin to survive on the internet, so I'm just gonna be in nice spaces that treat me right.
I really like Tiba's space. Have you guys been on Tiba's space? I go on his space regularly, actually. But I don't know. It's like it's for photographers, but now he's changed his name to Flair Arts, making connections. So he wants to introduce like 3D artists and AI artists as well in it, so that photographers and artists both can join. So you guys should definitely check him out. He's just check it out. He's so decent and he's so down to earth. He's got like 15,000 followers or something. But the first time that I was on his space, this is like 2-3 months ago, and it was my first time on his space and my first time somewhat in spaces. So he was like, if you have some work, you can pin it up. I did not know how to pin up work. And I was like, Tiba, actually, I don't know how to pin my work up. And he's like, oh, that's okay. I'll teach you. Like, literally, there were so many people in the space, but he was like so sweet. He was like, okay, just go in your profile and the picture you want, just click on the arrow and, then you'll see it. He took out 2-3 minutes just to teach me. And then what happened was I was on these other random spaces. So there was this other, this girl, and she, I think it was her first time as well. So the host was like, oh, so just pin up your work. And she was like, oh, I don't think I know how to. So he remarked, he was like, oh, you don't know how to pin up your work? Okay, who's next? And that poor girl just left, And I was just thinking that Tiba was so sweet. I mean, he's been like, he literally celebrated 2 days ago 250 spaces. He's done 250 spaces, and he was so sweet enough to like teach me that. It's very basic, it might be a very small thing, but to me it was a very big thing, because I'll always remember it was Tiba who taught me how to do that. And I felt so bad for that girl that she's going to remember that guy was so rude to her, and she had to leave the space. So these, do join Tiba's space. It's literally every day. He's so much fun, and now he's changed the space name to Flair Arts and making connections. It's really good. So,
Sorry, can you send me and like maybe put me and Amy inside of like a DM and send us his name?
I'll DM it to you guys. He's a really nice guy. Like, and the funny thing is, the poor thing, he cannot pronounce my name. He just cannot. He's been trying it for over 2 months. He's like, Sazri, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's okay. It's all good. But I'll just DM his Twitter to you guys, and please follow him. He's like that, energy you need in life, honestly. I'll just DM it to you.
Yeah, I have, it just depends on the time of the day and how busy I am. I have this personal rule of I am not allowed to comment on social media until I'm fully awake. I think this is a personal, like a reasonable personal boundary of I accidentally got banned from our relationships, and it totally scarred me for life.
Another good one to follow is, if you don't already, Dave Swanbank, or like Dave C. Do you know who he is, Amy?
No.
Okay, so he's really cool. Like, he basically has like it's called Not a Shill, but it's like a Twitter space where you can go like every single day, I think Monday through Friday, from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern, I think. But you can go and just like talk about your project. You can like shill, but it's not going to be like annoying. Like, you can't like say things that are irrelevant or like ramble on, but like you can talk about your project, and it's a safe space to do it. I think he's got about 20,000 followers now, and he makes sure to follow everybody back. And he really pioneered like a lot of the early like.
So sorry, Droppies. So sorry. I fat fingered emojis. That's first time for everything.
That's okay. But yeah, like he pioneered like a lot of the early like Polygon community, like people that are like in at least this community. So he's a really great advocate. He's how I got my start. If it wasn't for him, I would not have been able to like get the amount of recognition at first. Actually, whenever I first entered the space, like, because I'm not an artist, and I have like a software service, like, people just automatically wanted to assume that I was a scammer, but without actually doing any research, which is ironic in and of itself. But he actually took the time to get on a Zoom call with me and learn who I was, learn why I was here, and then he gave me a platform to talk about what I was doing and connected me to a bunch of really amazing creators who ended up, using my stuff and supporting me. So I'll send you and Shazray his Twitter handle as well in that same thread. Also, hi Jen, welcome to the space. Hello.
Hey Jen, are you speaking? Give me an emoji if you're speaking, because I can't hear you. Droppies, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think maybe she just is doing her own thing.
Okay, she does have a kid, and this is like dinner, bedtime, so Jen is amazing. Shazray, Droppies, if you're not following her, definitely do that. I'm pretty sure he's outside of your time zone, but Levitated Arts, I go to him 3 days a week. At this point, it's not even beneficial. Like, I'm networked with his crowd, but, like, I enjoy his spaces, and I enjoy listening to NFT strategies and good vibes. That's his space, but, like, he's always coming up with new strategies, and just, like, listen, because now people ask me, like, hey, like, you've been around here for, like, what do you suggest? And it's like, oh my god, everything, it's so personal to what your goals are that, like, you can't even give suggestions. However, learning what other people have done and what works is a really good strategy. Also buying Droppy's little pamphlet thing, because like it's actually like NFTs are a business, even though people try to pretend it is not, or like put like a veneer of it being like cool story, bro. I'm unsure how to say that without saying anything bad about people, but like keep in mind it's a business. Like you have a brand, even if your brand is like a stoner bro, like that's valid, I guess, but like yeah, so approaching it like a business helps with the heartache. But there's also, in my own opinion, there is room for like idealism and trying new things and seeing if it works out. So it's a very, very exciting space, and it's not established yet. There's no like, if you look back at traditional businesses, like there are definitely ways where it's just like do marketing, like have a network. These are always like classic, timeless things that you can suggest, and actually thinking about utility and stuff like that. But yeah, I think I might be rambling. Droppies, would you like to do a little pitch?
I do. So for those of you guys in the room who
I think I got rugged. Oh my god. Okay, well, at least she's talking, so I can come back and hopefully I can reconnect and it not be a huge deal. Reconnect. Skip.
I taught myself how to program, became employed at as a software engineer. Just got bored of doing things for other people and really wanted to make an impact in Web3.
I forgot
in
to put this
Web2,
on
I was
headliner.
basically selling marketing services from our portfolio of creatives. So I've been working with like models, videographers, photographers, graphic designers, literally you name it, and like pitching those specific services to get them employed by or like contracted by like bigger companies like Virgin Hotels and Akara. And I just wanted to do something for creatives because I know that it's such a struggle to create and also like make time for business. There's just simply not enough time in the day. And so my market research led me to Web3 because there's a ton of creatives who need services. And myself and my co-founder developed Droppies.com, which is an airdrop tool. So we're noticing a lot of similarities between airdrop marketing and email marketing. And it's actually been insanely effective in driving sales for small to medium-sized creatives because it helps creators deliver utility at scale. So whether the utility is like you're getting access to like token-gated content, or maybe you're just trying to like make somebody feel something through the art that you're like sending, airdrops are a really wonderful way to do that because it removes the barrier to entry from like free mints, for example. And this is a whole rabbit hole in and of itself. So I do offer like consultations where, if you need like a marketing strategy for like your airdrops, or you want like business consulting, I've been around the block. I know the research, I know the sales processes. So I offer that to creatives. You can just send me a DM and I'll get you a link. But if, you don't want that like hands-on, like hand-holding approach, I did create an NFT handbook that basically is a conglomeration of all of the research and all of the knowledge that I have about building business fundamentals that will help you create an irresistible offer to your future holders. That handbook is available at droppies.com/learn. And it's on sale right now for 75% off. I think it's only $20. And there's worksheets, and it's just a wonderful resource that can help you guys figure out what you need to do fundamentally to drive those sales and make those conversions so you guys can stop working so hard on that front and get back to creating. And yeah, like let me know, like my DMs are open, you guys, if y'all have any questions at all. But that's me in a nutshell. Thank you, Amy.
Absolutely no problem. And just so you know, right after I was like, hey, Droppies, do you want to pitch? I got totally rugged from the room, so it was actually kind of convenient that you did this. but I'm back, and hopefully you can both hear me now. So, judging by the emojis, you can. So, I don't know if you all know Jen, but she has this new, it was a SaaS, where basically she created a new keyboard where you can keep your links in this keyboard. And it makes it so much easier that when, like, you're tweeting at someone and they're like, hey, can you give me, like, your space or a link to your NFT or something like that, is you can just copy it to your clipboard and directly from that app, and you don't have to, like, search it up, and it's just right there. And it saves so much time. I have an Android, so I haven't checked it out personally, but
yeah. I will jump in here. I was able to say something before, but I was in one of those like catatonic states because I'm so tired that I was like, I should like move and pick up the mic, and then you guys were like talking. I'm like, all right, never mind, it's continuing. I could just sit here and stare at my computer screen and my mouth open like an idiot. Yeah, I've been sick, my kids have been sick, and I had a launch at the same time, so I'm dead. But yeah, I actually, like, hate copying and pasting, right? So, like, you don't have to copy and paste with this. You put the links in once, and then you just literally press one button to send your link from your keyboard. So as long as you have your keyboard up, you only have to hit one button. You can also add text. You can add paragraphs. You can also save a link to our app from the link itself. You can highlight text from anything and automatically save it. So you like literally don't even have to open up the app. You just stay wherever you are. But once you have everything added to, you just stay in the app you're in, and you don't have to leave and go try to find what you're finding and then forget what you were trying to find and then forget who you were supposed to be sending it to and then end up going down a rabbit hole or saying you'll do it later and not getting to it. Like any and all links. I have over 100 links in common messages I share, so it is more than a Band-Aid for me.
Yeah, and you can also, like, well, nobody can pitch their product like themselves, so thank you, Jen, for sharing. Every once in a while, I try to, like, pitch someone else's idea just to make sure I understand what they're doing. Like, you should hear me try to, like, speak up about Motivate You. I always get it super wrong. And I've known Jen. Has it been a year?
Mess, though. That one is like a Goliath. That one is hard. That one. This is so much. This is so nice because, like, my stepmom, right? Like, gets on it and like. So the first people I sent it to were like the business clients. We beta tested the business clients for Motivate You, some like friends outside tech, and then some founders, and then like my stepmom. Right? Nobody had any questions on how to use it. There was no instructions for the beta testers either. It was just that. Nobody misunderstood what its purpose was, and I didn't tell anybody. And it was just like, oh my God, this is a whole new world. I was literally singing Beyonce. I don't even like listen to Beyonce. I don't know where it came from, but like it was like,
which song?
The sun was, the clouds were parting and the sun. I'm like, oh my God, this explains itself. This is so different than talking about machine learning and AI and making my head hurt. But yeah, Amy, once it's on Android, then you'll be able to talk about it too, because you'll actually be able to get in it. But I just made a how-to video. I just posted it. The timing's off. I'm like editing the timing now for a different one, but somebody asked for it, so I put it on. But there's literally 4 steps. You connect your keyboard in your settings, then you save your links or messages, then you open up your keyboard, then you send them. Once you've done the settings, you never have to do it again. Once you add them, you never have to add them again. So then you just open your keyboard. So yeah, it's pretty painless.
I feel like there's a lesson here with, like, simplifying your pitch and your product. Like, it can be, like, an equivalent of a micro SaaS, your project. Like, it does one thing. It has one message. It's doing one, like, you can talk about it in 30 seconds and it's compelling enough and the need for this is enough that people will want to purchase it. And then...
Oh, but it's free now, just a FYI.
I mean, download it, whatever, do the call to action.
I'm just making sure
yeah.
people know so there's no barrier to entry.
Yeah, but I mean, the point is, like, if you have a problem and the product's actually solving it, it's so much easier to sell something than, like, whatever the hell I'm doing with Bandbook's art, which is a good idea. It's just, does anybody need it? Questions we ask ourselves. I mean, okay, I'm like, Dover talk badly about yourself, and then it's like, actually, but every product has a different, like, sales approach depending on, like, how complicated it is, and do people have this need, or do you need to make them realize they have this need?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I've had other businesses too before, right? So when people say, like, the common stuff, it sometimes makes me frustrated because I'm like, listen, I know how to sell stuff that exists in the world and people understand, right? Because that's my first businesses were, like, things that are, like, physical or, brick and mortar. And so when you're starting something new and then you have to make it something complex, and then my main project is being sold to people who aren't technical, it's painful, and a lot of the tricks that people want to use, like, don't necessarily work. It's like, if it was all that easy, then we'd all be, like, going straight for it. But yeah, so, like, this is like a kind of a breath of fresh air, but it was really to the other businesses to, like, the big platform is to meet my need too, but then this came up as, like, so a lot of the things that we add within the platform are things to help our business clients with their clients. And obviously I'm using it too. So it's like I am my own client through that. So I'm experiencing it firsthand. But this, I actually tried to figure out a way to incorporate this straight through the web app, or even through our not yet released but already built mobile app, but our mobile app for the platform is in React, and for the keyboards they have to be native to everything you're doing. So we have to have the native Apple iOS app, we have to have the native Android app, then we're going to have to do it for the desktop. It's going to be a completely separate thing. And so I delayed doing it for about a year, but I was so close to getting a VA. And then thinking about some of, like, the issues with, like, giving somebody full access to, like, all my DMs and things and making sure they sound just like me. I kind of got, like, a pattern of, like, all of these messages I was sending out. And I was like, well, this is pretty, like, simple in some senses where they could follow it as long as the questions follow, one of these things. And actually today I saw somebody's big spreadsheet they use with their VA that basically then they have to go through all of the emails that VA looked at and then categorize what they want the VA to do with it. And I'm like, at this point, why don't you just do it yourself? I can't see how that's saving you time. But I was going through some of the same, like, headaches that I've heard people go through, like, aside from, like, people's, like, security stuff, like, that's like the worst case scenario, right? Like somebody stealing information or, like, leads and stuff. But even the best case scenario, you're constantly going back and forth with somebody, which happens a lot of times when you bring on new team members or interns. But with this, it's like there's always new questions, right? So that could become complicated. And then I tend to give out different answers to the same questions depending on the source of the question, because it might be that they need the information from a different angle. And so it just was becoming like, how much time am I going to spend in training this person? And then I was like, maybe if I think about the amount of time it'll take to make this app and how long it would take to train and bring on somebody, and that, like, time and effort, this app actually is not going to be so bad.
I really empathize with that. So, like, I have a software service too, and it's just, first and foremost, I want to commend you on being able to, like, translate what you're doing to, like, your like, target demographic. Like, that is not an easy thing to accomplish, especially, like, on the first try they pick it up and know exactly what to do. So I'm definitely interested to test it out and see what all the hype is about, because I think that's really cool to accomplish. But also, like, when it comes to, like, tackling such a huge, idea and such a huge project, and especially when you start getting traction and people like actually using the product, it's just there's so much that needs to be done that it's almost impossible to keep up with. But then whenever you get the processes down and you're like, okay, I'm repeating this process like X amount of times, so I know like if I break this down into steps and I hand over this document of steps to somebody else, that they're going to be able to do it and ask questions along the way. Because at least for me, I don't know for you, but for me, like one of the hardest things about like training people is like they don't even know where to start, and they don't even know what questions to ask. And like as a self-starter and like entrepreneur, for me, it's like I'm able to step into almost any situation and be turnkey. But I know for a lot of people who don't like that approach, it's really difficult for them to come in with no structure. So I'm curious, what has been your experience with that and like training new people?
Yeah, so I actually built apps so I don't have to get a VA. And I'm fine with training people to do certain things, but to me that's like so personal. Actually, when I did fundraising, there was at least 3 people that specifically told me that they invested because I hadn't sent out mass messages, but I had like individually messaged them. And then when they asked a question, I was right in my DMs to answer it like immediately, which is actually what this app helps with too, because I did it literally the slow copy and paste way, but at least I was there and then I could respond instead of having somebody else not know what to say or how to say it or in my way. But for training, it definitely comes down to that. So a remote distributed company, which I think a lot of people are now, and I've had some people on the team that are like really good go-getters. If they run into stuff to do, they go to like the master list and keep going, or they tell me and they get something else. If I put something in writing, they can take those instructions and follow them. And then I've had other people that I can't, it doesn't work, mostly with like the remote thing. I mean, I literally write down the instructions, get something completely different back, point back to the instruction, like literally like, can you do this? That's written here. And not long instructions. I mean like 2 or 3 sentences, like short sentences to the point, still missing that. And then to the point where I'm like, I'm just going to do this myself. And after going through some of that, like in circles, it is very frustrating. So at one point our team was 21 people and now there's 7 people, and there's really like 2 of us that are full time. And I have no interest in ballooning that up again, because I found that I was literally just spending all of my time helping everybody else do their tasks. And I hate to say that I could do it faster than all those people, but honestly, at this point I can, and then probably back then, I don't know, maybe if I probably should have just tried it maybe longer. But I also, my very first business was tutoring college and grad students, and so I had this like love for teaching, and so I kind of got caught up into taking too many interns. It all started when my like university was during COVID, was like, we need people to take interns over winter semester because it's like we're making it 2 months this year and we don't want the kids sitting around not doing anything. And so they're like alumni businesses where you take some of them. And I was bringing on then interns every semester, and that wasn't the whole team, but like that was enough of it that it was a little bit draining. But I also felt like I was giving back, but it was like the time and the money part was not great. Like I was spending the same amount of time, but I was also spending money. Now I'm just spending the same amount of time, but I'm not spending any money. And sometimes I feel like, well, I need to give back more to the community, but I was like, there'll be a time and a place for that, but that's not right now. And I just got to keep moving forward, because I ended up having to then continue to work my other businesses because I was paying for a nanny to be here all day. And then after my kids would go to bed, I would stay up late and work all night. Now I spend more time with them during the day and take breaks and don't pay for a nanny because I'm not having to work the extra job. Because like working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, and having 2 little kids is not great, just so that I can employ other people. So yeah, I think I had to learn that the hard way. And it's also different because it's the first company that I've done that's like remote distributed. So, one of the people on the team actually, like, we were deciding if she was going to go from part-time to full-time, and she kind of like admitted that she was having a hard time with the initiative, and she had a couple months earlier even like said that was something she needed to work on more, but she just couldn't figure it out for herself. And so she's like, I just don't think I can work remote. Like something that she was having a hard time overcoming. And I've seen that a lot with a lot of new grads. And I think that's what the polls are saying too. Like new grads and then people in their 50s and up seem to really want to be more in office, and the people with young families are like, yeah, no, you can keep your commute because I want to spend more time with my family or my cats or my plants, or, you know, not the pollution in the air. So
I could totally understand that. Also extroverts probably, but like if you're new and you don't know the questions to ask, it's really hard to have initiative. Because you don't have the vocabulary or the experience. But, like, once you're mid-level to senior, it's just like, yeah, I got my shit. Like, I know what I'm doing. You don't need to ask me any questions. I did at, technically my last... Oh my gosh, it's getting so difficult because, like, my last job actually just sold the company to my new job. So... someone else's assignment, it's still the same, like, I'm doing the same work, though. But, like, my last job, I would just be like, guys, I need some emotional support today. Can we just have, like, an open Zoom? And they would let me do that, and I would just get my work done. Because, like, social pressure, I need that. But then, like, at this job, my boss made fun of me my second week on the job. So I've been kind of...
Are you serious?
Like, yeah, that's how I wound up with my second job, because I was like, hey, Aaron, like, my boss made fun of me in a meeting today, and he was so angry that he was like, I can't pay you money, so you can work here for equity. And I was like, well, that's, and he was raising for, like, VC funding, so I was like, okay, well, this gives me, like, the empowerment to actually say something to my boss and set the boundaries so that, like... It gives me, like, a security blanket so I can bring it up and tell him I'm not going to work in those conditions. And I said something, and he never did anything like that again, but it set the wrong tone, and I don't let things go. So I was like, I'll just be in Twitter Spaces all day and, you know, work on the second job, and we'll see. And then I'm still at that job. But I changed departments, and then now I'm working for a new company, so that's why it's one of the reasons why I'm in a few things happened. One, I'm still taking that Solidity course, so I really would just want to switch to, like, Web3 full-time, where it's just, like, you know, I can do a little bit of freelancing, I can, you know, stay, like, in my condo and not lose my house, but, like, I would like to work on my own projects. But also, like, I would like to not get fired at my job. Like, it's not convenient to not have a job. So I'm trying to, like, actually work during the day more now that I like my boss and he hasn't made fun of me and it's a new environment. Which, fun fact, Chrome just decided that I couldn't work on Friday. So I need to actually, like, look at it this weekend, because that'll be like 3 days in a row where I'm just like, sorry, the web decided I can't do localhost. So anyway, Shazray, what's up?
Yeah, guys, as much as I would love to stay, it's literally 3:30 a.m. my time. I have to go to sleep. I have to wake up early and go hiking because it's the weekend, and I just want to stay away from technology for a bit because I'll be back on it on Monday. But anyway, it was so nice talking to all of you, and Jen, it's so nice hearing from you. I love entrepreneurs. I just love female entrepreneurs who are kicking it and killing it. And Droppies, I'm so happy that we got to meet and connect. We've shared some really fun times here on the space. So I hope you keep your mic off on certain occasions. Anyway, and Amy, you are amazing, and I love what you're doing. I love you. I love Zeller. I just love females doing, kicking ass and just being entrepreneurs and in software and everything. I love that. So it inspires small people like me. But thank you so much for the time. I have to go to sleep now, guys, because my son is going to wake up at 8 a.m. in the morning, and I don't know how much time I have to sleep. But anyway, Bye,
Have a
guys.
good night.
Have a great time, and I'll catch you guys soon.
It was really great to hang out with you. I totally forgot it was 2 a.m., but like when you first came in here. So thank you so much for hanging out with us for so long, and I will see you at some point when it is not 3 in the morning. A more reasonable time for
I'll
you.
see you around. Yeah, definitely, because I see you at Spaces, so we'll, it's like, even if we're not talking, we know we're there, and we know we are each other's support, so it feels good, like when you see someone that you can relate to, and when they're in a space, you're like, oh, she's here, oh, he's here, oh, okay, cool, I know, my people are here. So it's all good. Okay, bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for coming. I'm gonna follow Shazree's lead. I have some other spaces that I promised people I would show up to. So before I leave, I just want to say thank you, Amy and Jen. I'm really interested in your software, so I'm gonna check it out, and hopefully there's some alignment where we can maybe work together.
Amy, do you use Canva at all?
Almost religiously, honestly.
Okay, because I'm about to throw it out the window. Aside from the fact that sometimes I have to zoom in 700% for it to let me put something where I want to. Right now, I have 2 arrows in a video that are popping up, and one of them's going slow, one of them's going fast, and it doesn't matter how I move the intensity, it's not changing at all the speed of them coming in, and I can't figure out why, because there's no other option. There's literally the intensity and direction are the only options. It's driving me insane.
If you go into my Discord in the lounge and you share your screen, we might be able to figure this out. I do not do anything super fancy with Canva. I just don't have Procreate or anything art related.
It's just the page animations. I mean, they're literally old school PowerPoint things. There's nothing to it. It's just so weird because there's this intensity level only on some of them. Holy crap, what just happened? Sorry. I clicked something while I was talking, didn't see what it was. I clicked and the whole thing's dissociating now and falling apart. But yeah, this is so weird. It's just less one thing. And I've noticed when I watch the whole video, if you watch the video, all the arrows move at different speeds, but there's no way for me to control them. It's it's decided that's what I don't like about Canva. It's some stuff just has to be whatever way they want it to, and you can't override it. But I have the Pro. It's just it's no, this is how it's gonna be. Oh man.
I have so many questions, but I want to say hi to Steven first. How are you?
Yeah. Go for it.
Greetings. Sorry, I'm eating.
It's okay. I'm going to be eating here soon. Yeah, how has your day been, Steven?
Kind of restful. Normally, I try to take a day off from anything physical on Sunday and just let my body recoup. And today, I just thought, today's the day. I'm gonna have an idle Saturday and be done with it, Shoot, I had something to ask you, but I don't remember. Oh yeah, your NFT iteration. The pictures you just posted with a 3-dimensional appeal to them. Is that part of a metaverse interface, or is that a flat photo as it exists?
Oh, yeah. So it's a flat photo as it exists.
Okay.
Yeah, I put it in... Oh, wait. So I actually answered that wrong. It's in my metaverse. So, the AI art are cubes, and then I took a screenshot of the metaverse. So the art itself is available in the 2 collab collections.
Okay. Somebody Well, I actually pinned her stuff to my top of my stream, but Georgianza had put up a gallery that you could kind of scroll through. You can go into the metaverse from your desktop, have that experience, and the artwork is on the wall. It's interchangeable. It's mintable. So essentially, you could buy it right there while you're walking around her space, and it's accessible. I just like it. I think it's going to be the bridge into the metaverse for a lot of people, into AR, VR. But super cool interface, and I thought maybe you had done something like that with the 3-dimensional, which would be cooler still.
There are ways to just use like an API, so like when you click on it, like you don't have to leave the metaverse to make a purchase. I am just not that fancy yet. It's just there's a link and you click on it and it goes to where the art is being sold. But yeah, you do make that is a good point of like, let's make it easier for people to buy things.
Well, so far the couple barriers to entry, couple pain points that have, I want to say, slowed down development as fast as things appear to be going, until proprietors, the metaverse architects, can begin to generate revenue and find those outlets. Things, it'll be overbuilt before it becomes profitable, and then there'll be, a little backlash, a little lull. So the people that are focusing on a point of sale or a revenue model that allows for them to perpetuate their creative, building are the ones that are going to move forward, and the bulk of what we're seeing now is going to fall by the wayside. I just happen to plug in with a couple well-funded projects, and they're having fun, and they don't appear to be having any cash flow problems coming to the table. So I don't think they're desperate for sales, but I could be wrong. A lot of people have a great poker face, and that's kind of the worst. You start investing and building there, and they close up shop. And it's not even like it's a rug. It's just they ran out of money.
And that's why I advocate, like, yeah, you can have your gallery in a metaverse that someone else hosts, but you should have a compatible, if slimmed down version on your own website, something that you yourself control.
I totally agree.
It's yeah.
Own your content. Yeah, nobody gets proprietary control over what you create.
Yeah, it's the same thing as like NFT marketplaces. Like people go to Spatial, or like they build on Spatial because it's well known and you'll get the foot traffic and you don't have to advertise it. Like you don't have to introduce people to the concept of a Spatial because they're Spatial. But if Spatial ever, gets rugged or it gets under if you don't own any of that, or if what you're building isn't compatible with anything else, like, you're going to hurt really bad if your business model is based off of people accessing Spatial. But yeah, it is an interesting space where it's, trying to you do the VR technology without it getting in the way of, like, monetization, honestly. Like, you can perfect, and then just never publish because there's always something else that can be done to improve it. And it really, like, being a perfectionist is not helpful.
It was a barrier to entry for me. I mean, it kept me dragging my feet for over a year. Random projects, random things I could have posted at any time, but and still, I've taken them down. I've burned my NFTs a couple times, thinking, I can do better.
I totally understand where you're coming from too, where it's just like, especially with like your first collections, like, they're just very precious, and you want to make sure that like your brand is getting like the foundation that you want it to have, so that you can move forward with it, and like, just putting your best foot forward.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to get in the way of you solving Jennifer's Canva woes. I found if you do part of your work outside of Canva and then bring it in, it's a lot easier to use. But I'm no wizard at any one of these platforms. Canva's somewhat of a beast, and I only know one person, and that's Peg Fitzpatrick. That's the lady that built out Robert Kiyosaki's digital empire. The only person I know that I could say is proficient at Canva. Everybody else seems to be on the struggle bus.
Yeah, it's just the videos. The videos are one of their newer things, and I don't think they spent a lot of time on it. What I figured out is the intensity is not the speed. The intensity is how far the arrow moves. But it's also like in a minimal space, because it's like how close I put it to the other things. But I also figured out I cannot change the timing, because the timing has to do with the overall page, and so there's no... So with like a lot of the other ones, there is a timing thing. Well, not most. It's not an actual specific time. You could just say like on entry or on exit or both. But this one literally doesn't have a timing one at all. So the intensity is not related to the time. It's just frustrating. Again, it's just like you can't do anything you want, obviously, because it's no code. So I just have to leave it being a little bit weird. I'm probably the only one who honestly notices that the arrows move at slightly different speeds, but it's because each of the pages moves at a different speed. Some of them, there's not as much to talk about, so I didn't want to make people sit there and stare at the screen after they already understood what was going on.
I would have done this in iMovie, like the video part, and then imported it into Canva. Like, I only use Canva.
It's not videos. It's actually just a bunch of screenshots of the phone, and then Canva just turns in, you can like just turn into a video. The only part that's the video is the stuff popping on. So I use iVideo for actual videos, or like what is it on the Mac? Yeah, it's iMovie. I use iMovie for actual videos, but this is like stills in a fake video.
Yeah, you can just do images on iMovie, like a slideshow.
I'm literally like 99% done. Now I'm just being picky. So
okay.
This is what it is.
Okay. I'm just saying that, like Canva, I'm like Steven said, I'm just like, it's something where just like I have a background image and I need to put like text, like the got rugged I did in Canva because that's funny and also stupid. And that's my level of proficiency in art. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's also like iMovie drives me crazy with like the specs, and with social media, it's like if you put this, like if I drop, sometimes I just don't care, and I'm like, whatever, people can't see it on this channel, but when trying to put it on the different social media channels, it's like some of them cut it off, and so with Canva, it's a little bit faster to change like the size of it, whereas like iMovie's like, no, you can't make it this size, and I'm like, well, I want to. I'll actually crop videos on my phone and then send it to iMovie because it doesn't want to crop it the way I want to. It wants it to always be like a movie ratio aspect.
Yeah, I like for the you have to like turn it on its side for it to be like TikTok aspect ratio, and I was like, I guess if you really want to do that.
How do I turn my desktop on its side?
So, like, in iMovie, you
I know, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I use it on my desktop, though.
Yeah, like, no, like, in iMovie, like, you can turn the video and then use QuickTime Player to turn it back to where it's supposed to, like, not be on its side. I was like, wow, this is a lot of work. I will just...
Yeah, I know. See, the same thing. I'm like, I'll do this on my phone and then just throw it over, and then it's fine. It's like, it is stupid, though. It's all like little hacks because it just doesn't. It's like, no, you can't do it. I'm like, why can't I do it?
No kidding. So I think I'm gonna end the space soon because I've been here for almost 3 hours, and I would like to eat before I go to Levitated Art Space. And also my cat. I don't know if you've heard her before, but she's being very dramatic about needing treats. She thinks she is starving to death. As if she doesn't have a full bowl of food at all times, but hey. Before we go though, Stephen, I don't know if you have been keeping up, but I do have, well, first of all, this is a Halloween special. I'm partnering with the Rugs, and basically we're going to be buying rugged art in the next year and creating a metaverse that has that, and transforming this rugged art into tombstones and just sharing like the story of the rugged art, and making it so that, like, you know, appreciating the art of the rugged art and just making it a miniature project type situation. But once we're done buying this art, 100% of the profits will be going to Dogs for Better Lives. And I've set up the royalties that the secondary market, 25% of it will be going to Dogs for Better Lives. So that's why I have the Halloween special going on. But do you have any questions about that?
No, I'm not familiar enough, and unfortunately, I'm also not buying anything until after the first of the year. I've got to go through a bunch of surgeries and stuff, and it even, I mean, it kept me from putting money in Jennifer's stuff. And I sent her a couple of VC people to look at her project, and I never even checked back to see what who invested in what or what projects have done. I've been can't say aloof, but not really diving in on the developmental side, except to say the guy from Rug Radar, I don't know if you know Josh or not, but it sounds like just from a branding perspective, your project would be a good fit for him. And I have a couple of VC that are looking over his stuff now, and one I actually brought into a space to talk to him and have him explain what he's doing. And basically, he's got software set up to predict the probability of different tokens rugging, and it's an early warning system. And he's a brilliant guy. I'd encourage you to get into his space just for sake of the branding. I mean, he would definitely add a lot of lift to you right now, and that might, you know, turn back and reciprocate for him later. But cool, like I said, cool guy, brilliant, sharp. Yeah, the end. Cool. I'll go back. I want to go through your spatial stuff, though. I don't know why I'm enamored like a kid on Saturday morning, you know, in front of the TV watching cartoons with what the spatial interface is doing, and the new minimal barrier to entry ports into the metaverse and into the virtual reality. So I started working on digital signage in the metaverse. Mitch Jackson he's the metaverse attorney. He gave me my first tour of the metaverse. He was just so excited when he called. He said, "You got to see this." I'm like, "What?" He says, "Have you been in the metaverse?" I said, "Well, I've seen it." He's like, No, you got to go. And he gave me a tour of his office, showed me where everything was. He had you know, some fruit on the table, a couple bottles of wine, had his presentation board out, had art on the walls, and invited me back the next day. And he had all of his attorney and C-suite friends now taking a tour of his office space, and he was so excited. And the remarkable thing was, they had all booked other appointments with him to see more. So he, in a period of 24 hours, I watched him create millions of dollars of. He brought millions of dollars of influence into the metaverse, and I was just like, all right, well, I guess for some people it's just like that. Of course, you got a wealthy guy bringing his wealthy friends, and they're every bit as enthusiastic as he is. By the time they leave, something's going to happen, and sure enough, they started a company, and they're building out virtual office space for the rest of humanity, and it's. If I get him to do it for the artists, I'd be a lot better. So Moxie, I think that's what it's called. Also on my profile. Hang on, I like this lady. She's an attorney, former attorney from the SEC, powerhouse lady. She's been in Totally Uninformed Opinions, that space, for a couple weeks now, but an absolute powerhouse. Built out an exceptional interface for the artists. It's presentation forward. I don't know what the barrier to entry is going to be for the common pedestrians out on the internet yet, but the way she's got her display laid out it's pretty amazing. And she does she's doing a cryptocurrency podcast and giving a tutorial on terms, things that are important to look for, things to avoid, legal barriers, etc. And I have her video up there too, or I can send it to you. I might have already. I did, didn't I? I sent you KD's and Alex's, I think. Right, Amy?
Yeah, I can look, because I asked, because I was like, we need more of this, and it's like, actually we do have some of that.
Yeah, those two. So Katie's a young guy, and Alex is an accomplished attorney.
Yeah, you sent me Alex, and then it's OXKD Trading.
Yeah, that's KD Trading.
So I didn't want to correct you. Oh, shoot.
Fun fact, Steven, my new app is free on iOS, so if you got that recent DM from me, I'm not asking for anything other than just check it out because it's free. And it's not related to fitness, it's related to productivity. It's a custom keyboard for all your links and common stuff, so if you're sending out your spaces or hey, here's my LinkedIn profile, or here's a common reply you have, or something that you're sharing from other people that's like a message or logo or tagline or anything that you just feel like you're copying and pasting all the time. This is so that you don't have to copy and paste. It just all becomes a single key on your keyboard.
Oh, that's brilliant. I've got somebody I could put over on that right now. In fact, what's it called? Or is it on your profile?
Yeah, sorry, I'm clicking around. Yeah, it's called Key Link. Like turn the key and then a link.
Link app, okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's got its own handle too now. Keylink app is the handle on Twitter. I actually just bought keylinkapp.com too, because there's a Teams part thing in the works, but.
Okay, so the link on that profile is motivateyou.net, keylink HTML. Is that going to take me to...
That's just the website, but if you go to my profile or Keylink, if you look, when you go in there, there's they call it I forget what it's called. Spotlight, I think is what Twitter calls it. It's like right under the number of followers. It's this big thing with the link. It says Keylink Motivate You Productivity 5 stars free. If you click on that, that takes you right to the App Store.
Oh, I already have it. Okay. So update. It says it's ready for an update.
Yeah, we've put out like a new feature every week. The first week we put out 2, but.
Oh yeah, I think I have already tried this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've added some new stuff in the video. If you're one of the first people who downloaded it, we didn't have any how-to information in there. Just threw everybody to the wolves. So now there's videos, because the new people get the how-to stuff, but people already on it can't get that. So I just put a video on the website, but also on Twitter.
Yeah, for me it opens right up, and the first thing it says there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 in bubbles. Select
Perfect.
settings to connect the app to your
Yep.
keyboard. Add
That's the how-to
combination of links.
step.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. That's
Cool.
exactly what you need to do. So if you follow those steps, then there's new things too where you can actually just save links from within the link itself and everything. But that's the basic steps there, and I'm working on the videos for the other things. Like if you ever use a share extension, if you use Keylink, it'll just pop up. If not, if you just keep scrolling, you'll see when it's there, so you can automatically save things.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
You don't have to open up the app to see your new links.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
So, first of all, hopefully the surgeries that you're having at the end of this year, early next year, are not very serious, and that you have a strong recovery. And my metaverse is actually custom made, and it's on bandbooks.art. We were talking about spatial before, but I don't want to give the wrong impression. And also, the VEC is here, and they also have their own metaverse. I think it's Jody that makes it. And I'm going to give them some art for their winter collection, if I remember, before November 15th. So just want to put that out there.
Hi, Amy. How are you? Good to see you. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well. Hi, Stephen. And hi, Jen. How are you?
I'm Casey Hole. Greetings.
How are you doing? Long time no speak.
Yeah, doing well. I'm not going to draw it out. Amy was trying to put on her skedaddle sticks and get elsewhere. So I just wanted to pop back in and say hello and say congratulations to Jen. This one looks like it's got some feet to it. You get that entry point presentation rock solid, and you're the golden girl I expect you to be. Only more people get to know about it.
Yeah, the problem is to get the artists to know about it. Some artists come to spaces and they don't listen to what is being said. They just sort of like focus only on their art, to share their art, and that's it.
Well, they
don't see the opportunity to have an exhibition in a virtual gallery. It's all free of charge. It's all community. They don't see themselves as in a community, and that's what we, from our point of view, that's what we're trying to teach the artists to stay in a community rather than on their own. Even in the exhibition, they want a picture of where they are exhibiting, because they are concentrating solely on themselves or on their art rather than on the whole community. And that's the problem with exhibitions like what you do, Amy, and what we do as a media center. We offer the space, we offer the whole. It takes a long time to do an exhibition. It takes it's a long time, really hard work and long hours. So I can appreciate what you're doing, Amy. Amazing what you're doing. Is to get the artists to help, to do their bit and sort of retweet, like, and show the actual art as an art exhibition, not just pictures of their art in the exhibition, if you know what I mean.
Yes, getting things laid out like just correct I went to your thing, and yes, having it be a cohesive exhibition and a really good 3D experience does take time, and it's a whole experience what you have, just like mine has a different experience, but it's also a complete experience. It's just one of those things where it's like, oh man, if you knew about this, you would be begging me to be in my gallery. but nobody knows about it. So then it's like, yeah, I understand. Like every once in a while, it's just like, oh, why is this so difficult? Like, I feel like this should not be this difficult. There must be something wrong with my pitch or something like that.
It's not you. It's not you, because every space, for instance, I'll give you an example. I did a space. We had over 150 people in the space going and coming. I reset the room and I asked people to go to the summer exhibition to see what it's like. And if they like what they see, they can apply for the Winter Wonderland free of charge. So you know it. You can give 2 NFTs, not give the links to 2 NFTs, and you can sell them. We don't charge any commissions, nothing at all. So I say that and everything, and say, oh wow, it's amazing. After about a few minutes, I say, have you been to so they come and say, can I pin my art, please? I say, this is not sharing space. If you want to share your art, you can share it in an exhibition. Have you been to the summer exhibition? What summer exhibition? I've just sent you the summer exhibition. People don't listen. They hear but don't listen. And it will take time to educate people how to listen. I've been working with artists for 25 years in my physical world. And honestly, it takes a long time to get the artist to understand that we are so strong when we are together in a community. When you are on your own, you're not as strong, even if you have loads of followers. But you can't talk about your art all the time, while you can talk about a community all the time. That's the difference. But to get them to understand that and sort of put a little bit of effort in promoting that community, it's a long time. It's a long. This is where the work is.
I mean, to be fair, everybody in Web3 has their own project that they're trying to push, and it can be, like when you're so busy and you're just like running around the rat race, and then, it's just like when you're desperate and you just really, really want something, and yeah, you do, it is a valid point where it's just like, and then also sometimes like, it just feels like a scam, because like, how can something that is so good be, free? And it's like, no, like, it's free because of, like, this, that, and the other thing. And mostly because we want to literally, give exhibitions and give artists spotlights, and to get our own reputation so that we can sell our own things. But, yeah. I like, yeah. These things, you speak the truth, where it's like, no, really, people, like, please just not even give me your art, like, just let me show your art. Like, this should not be difficult.
I think you're right. If it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. But if you don't ask anything for money, but I appreciate there's loads of factors. One of the biggest factors is not listening in a space, just hearing. The other factor is so many artists, like Iranian artists, for instance. So many of them are in the street demonstrating, so they're leaving Twitter. So they left Twitter for a while. So many people have a break from Twitter Spaces, from NFT, from everything. They just have a break. They have enough. They burn the candle, both ends. Some people have real life problems, they have to attend to. So there's so many sort of problems we're facing with Web3. But, we just have to keep on trying, keep on working, keep on building, and keep on developing. That's the only way forward.
Yeah, I wish I knew, and like, you can't help people that aren't going to help themselves, So like, if you're not in a spot where you can actually listen, and, do things that will help your own project, then, I'll be around when you're in a spot where you can listen. But, I'm not spending money to try to educate artists on why they should be participating. I'm spending time, which is money, but like, it kind of like, I want artists that listen and can follow instructions to be a part of my gallery. So I'm getting really hungry, and I might just be like hunger responding, making no sense right now. But like, like I would really love to be able to work with literally everybody, but then at the same time, like, we all know that's impossible. So let people that aren't engaged just not engage. And I wish, one thing I do wish is that, like the shill spaces, we all complain about them, but it's created a mentality of like, I don't need to listen to anybody until it's my time to speak. But if you go into the shill space and you actually, talk to people, or like take notes and like actually interact with them, like you can form
only few that may do that.
Yeah.
Only few. The shilling spaces, everyone is waiting to present their art. And what they do, because I've been to so many shilling spaces just listening, what they do is they show their art, but before they show their art, thank you for the host, this is the best space ever, you're really doing a good job, and thank you, and for the speakers and all of this. And then, can I finish my art? They finish the art, they talk about 5 minutes about the art, if they're allowed. And if they are allowed time, they will talk about 15 minutes about the art. But when you talk about your art and about one thing and talking monologue, people lose you within 15 seconds.
Yes.
The way of shilling spaces, the good shilling spaces, the ones that they ask questions and you answer to the question. So it makes a conversation that makes a community. And that's the whole thing. So people can, listen to you, because it's in little bits and in questions. So if the questions are really good and the answers are really good, people are listening to you. If you're shilling and you're just doing a monologue, honestly, people don't listen to you, because they can't listen to 50 artists and they remember every artist. They can't. It's impossible. So shilling space, what you're doing, Amy, and what we're doing is the right thing. I mean, we're doing it, bridging the gap between Web 2 and Web 3, so you don't have to connect your wallet, you don't have to, so anyone Web 2 can go to Really Center easily through a website and go into a virtual world without doing an avatar. When you give them in spatial, they have to do an avatar, they have to do this, or they don't want to sign up, or they think it's another layer they have to go through. But what we're doing is bridging that gap between that layer, the extra layer we want them to go, and the layer that they are in that is sort of like Web 2. So to entice them to go there, you have to show them the virtual world, and that's the whole idea about the VA Center. You have to show them the virtual world, get used to it, and that will entice them to say, oh, I like this painting, I want to buy it. Then they will connect to their wallet. Once they connect their wallet, the portal there to go to spatial, to other metaverses, you got them, you hook them in. And that's how sort of we're trying to onboard people. So it's a very hard work, and you have to be really patient and just look at what your aim is and focus on your aim, and just all the hassles you get through the way on your way is just part of the whole journey. So no, I'm not complaining about shooting spaces, because shooting spaces give you confidence to speak, gives you a way of speaking about your art, gives you to sort of speak another language, because you have to show your art in English mostly. So it's the sharing spaces have got loads of benefits from it, and it gives you which room to go to, which space to go to, sharing space or just normal conversation and getting to know people.
Yeah, it's definitely, well, first of all, every point you made is valid, but basically, don't always just be in the same type of space, because, variety is the spice of life. So sometimes it can be really powerful to be in a chill space. Like for us, because we're both doing metaverse galleries, it's almost better for us to just be a listener in a chill space and just, DM or like retweet and interact with the people that are shilling, because like we don't necessarily, well, I don't know if you are selling your own artwork, but like it's not the point of the metaverse that we're doing. Like the point is to showcase the other artists. So like I've just not had any luck with like cold tweeting people like, hey, you should participate in my gallery. But when I follow people to spaces and then I have a few conversations with them and they get to know me, and then I say like, oh, hey, this person's in the room and they've participated, and like I'm hoping that Jen's thing, I can just be like, oh, hey, this person's in the room, and then just show a link of like a short YouTube clip of like their art in my gallery, and just use it as like a quick way of a demonstration of like, oh, here's this person, and also then I'm promoting them. But yeah, I am really hungry. So I keep saying that. I think I'm going to end this space, but do any of you have any final thoughts before we leave? Vivek, it was really, really good to see you. I'm sorry that you came in at the end of the space.
No, it's all right. It's good to see you too. It's good to chat. It's good to see you, Stephen and Jen.
Likewise, sir.
You guys.
We'll see you soon.
See you
Thanks,
soon.
Amy. Talk soon, Jen.
Take care, Amy. Bye-bye. Take care, Jen. Take care, Stephen.
Okay. I'm hungry. I'm leaving. My friend was supposed to go pick up something. She'll let me know. Yeah, we're gonna work through this. So, have a good night. It was really good. I don't know how good it is for you, but I had fun. We walked through some of the metaverses together. I started working on the latest one. Again, I'm almost done. See, I have like one more thing here, and then we are done with this portion of it. The next portion is to get the NF tree and all of the other artwork. Oh, I also need to figure out what to do with this. There was a fancy pillar thingy up here, but it was it had too many polygons, so it wasn't exporting. But we're just gonna do this and then splatter some more around so it looks like, rubble, just like artistic, but not like too much rubble. And then we're good to go. I will talk to you later. Probably tonight I'll just continue working on this with levitated space. So, good night.